It's only a model. Shh.
We're knights around the table, not round the square or triangle. We come to hang and chat like a gang on Fridays as we're able. We play well here in Camelot, we are chums and fun, but tell a lot. We're knights around the table, our host is formidable. He runs a strange, loves insane, but sure he's quite unstable. He's hobby mad in Camelot, but seems never to have done a lot. Quite incomprehensible, blue wrenching, and we have no plan but to sit and hear Dodge babble. It's a lazy time in Camelot.
I have to shake my bum a lot.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it. And it's all done in the best possible way.
Hello everybody, happy Friday. Welcome to the Outsider Insider Live. Greetings to all the fellow Knights of the Rhomboid table. I hope you are well. It's, I guess, because we like round numbers, I guess it's special. I am doing my 200th live stream. Now, originally they weren't on Fridays. I actually started doing them twice a week, and then when I went back to work, my last year and a half before I retired, I just reduced it to Fridays only. So it's the 200th live stream without missing a day. I don't know, it's stupid, but I guess I'm kind of proud of that. So again, I hope you're all well on that side. I'm going to go through, and we'll talk more about that, but I'm going to go ahead and go through see who's all here, send my greetings to all of you Knights of the Rhomboid table, and then we'll come back and talk about everything else. So, Sir Andy from 81E is here. Sir Anthony from Middleport Junction is here. Sir JD from Grandpa Rails is here. Sir Andy, the one and only, one of the greatest chaps on any social media, just an awesome guy all around, is here. Sir Ifo Van Zon, Sir John Benicki, our Sergeant at Arms, Sir Joseph Agliato is here. Leslie Gilpin, Sir Leslie is here. Sir Steve from Märklin Steve is here. And please make sure you check out the official court brewmaster. Sir Mick of Mick 92 is here. Sir Dino, my fellow 3-rail Märklin fan, is here. Hello, Sir Dino. Glad to see you here, my friend. Sir Peter Jackson, who again, oh my goodness, if you people don't know Peter Jackson's channel, check it out. He goes to all these shows in the UK, and then he picks one layout. You know, he films them all, but he picks one layout and puts them out every couple of days. So rather than just getting a quick 30-minute tour through a whole show, you really get to see each of the layouts at these shows. They're awesome videos. He's a great videographer. He's right up there with the best. And he really highlights, and they're all great. So if you just like to see model train layouts and you can't get to shows enough to see the ones you want to see, his channel's a great one. Let me see. So one of the oldies and goldies, I hope he doesn't mind me calling him an oldie, but Sir Tim, my longtime friend and colleague here. Great to see you here. I like to call him the CEO of the Knights of the Rhomboid Table. Trackside Mike, wonderful to have you here. Always a pleasure that you will take some time and pop in here with us with your very busy schedule. And Sir Xander Janssen is here. Did anybody else come in? I think I said John Benicki, but if not, Sir John is here. And Jim from Hover Motion, thank you for stopping in, Sir Jim, who has been putting up a lot of videos lately. I'm still waiting for him to break out the keyboard, but of course, if he breaks out and plays the keyboard, he's going to get drafted into the Knights of the Rhomboid Table band, where he has to play the music and potentially sing some of our parody songs, because we have more coming. I've got 4 parody songs. Joyce just won't sing. I've got them done. I just need a singer. I can't sing them, and Joyce won't sing them. Joyce is like, I can't do that one. But we still got a couple more coming. Sir Rayron just came in. Nice to have you here. All right, I'm going to switch. And Carl, Sir Carl from Bangotcher Junction. Sir Carl Braun is here. Nice to have you here. And Ian, our friend from the Netherlands, hello, is here. Thanks for coming back. And he's got a great little channel, as pretty much everybody here does. So let's go back and see how the chat is flowing. And now I can catch up and see if anybody's saying... calm down, I'm not that good. Actually, you are. You are that good. But, you know, humbleness is fine, but reality is good. You only sing at Anfield. I would love to sing at Anfield. Hey, Kiwi Davis here. Hello, Sir Dave. Glad to have you here. New car spotted. Yes, yes, new car spotted. But it's 200 live streams, which... I don't know. Is that a big deal? It's a nice round number, 200. I really don't recall doing a big deal about 100, but the long-running Sidetrack Sunday just did their 200th show last week, and I just was hitting my 200 this week. So since they were celebrating, I thought, what the heck, I'll celebrate too. So it's all there. So anyhow, I put out a couple of Fowler car videos. Funny thing is, the first Fowler car video. Hey, there's Sir Hi. Hello, Sir Hi. Hope you're well. From H&H Express. Just put up a video. I did watch the video already. 200 more than you. That's true. It's 200 more than you and 200 less. Hey, Sir Andrew of 156 fame. Up our local Glaswegian. But I have not worked on the Fowler car stuff this week, other than I've been under the table a bit trying to brace the motors before I start sealing everything and wiring everything up. Actually, wiring will come first. We'll do some test runs. If everything works, then we'll put the road tape over it. If it still works with the road tape, then we'll just finish it off and call it good. Yeah, I'm wearing all kinds of personalized shirts. So this is my little jersey. Although this is the first one where they got this too low, or I designed it too low. So I got another one where it's up higher on the chest. This is kind of our baseball jersey, or, rugby jersey, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a rugby shirt, but it's cool. But there it is. So anyhow, I haven't done much with that. But what's funny is I put the first video out and it got 400 views. And the second one got 220 views. So apparently all there. And in between, I did post, Joyce and I did post a new parody song. Joyce was not thrilled with she was content enough that we could publish it, but we've done 3 different sessions where we have sat down and tried to sing that song. And finally, earlier this week, or last Sunday, I think it was Sunday afternoon, she finally said, well, let's try it again. And because that was the one song I had ready to go that she thought she might be able to do. I've got like 5 songs where she's just, I can't sing that. And she didn't think she could sing this one, but she thought she could give it a yeoman's try. And part of the problem is the lyrics. The way the song is sung, it's got such a funky beat lyrically, it's hard for her to keep it, and she gets ahead or behind, but she always flubs lines. I mean, we did 13 takes of that song last Sunday. And finally, she did 2 takes where it worked, where she got it well enough that I could splice them together and make a final cut. And she wasn't happy, especially with the opening, where the music doesn't drown out part of her singing, is her attitude. But, I thought it was good enough. And once she got her voice going, she sounded fine. I mean, again, she will tell you it's not remotely her best singing. But it's doing well. I mean, it's got close to 400 views itself. So that was pretty cool. So anyhow, what's going on? One of the reasons I did not work on my layout is I only got a couple of days a week where I can really work on my layout. The weekend is usually taken up with running. Joyce and I have to do things that she saves for the weekend to get done. Family comes over on Sunday. Every Sunday, everybody comes over and spends the part of the afternoon and evening. It's just a long-standing tradition in both our families, really, that Sunday was family still gets together. But Joyce is very, very, loves to see the kids come home. And so, and then Mondays, I'm free, and Wednesdays, I'm free. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I babysit my grandson. When I'm babysitting Kyan, my job is to entertain Kyan. Kyan doesn't take naps, and so he needs Opa to keep him busy and moving. Let's play this. Let's go for a walk. Let's go here. Let's go downstairs and run the trains. All right, let me play with the cars. Let me throw something at something. Let me go do something else. Keeping Kyan entertained. He literally does. He gives me a break. He gives me about half an hour to 45 minutes where he'll let me watch High's live stream for a bit, and then, Opa, let's go. It's over. Like, no, he still got some. No, you're done. And then he'll usually let me watch most of Dungle Dad's on Thursday's live stream. And that's about it. And that's my only YouTube exposure. Anyhow, Wednesday, Tuesday night, my son called me because he and his wife are looking at a house. He and my daughter-in-law are looking for a house. And they found one they kind of liked. And they sent me pictures of it last weekend. Well, yeah, last weekend. And I said, oh, I don't like it. And they were heartbroken, like, why don't you like it? I said, well, just style-wise, it looks too small. I don't like this, But I was judging it from my personal taste, not for them. I was judging, I don't like the way they did this here. That's just... But anyhow, he called me Tuesday and said, Dad, they just dropped the price on it. And we really kind of like it, but we want you to come and give it your dad eye and see if there's anything that should scare us away from buying it. So early Wednesday morning, I drove. It's about 3 hours to get down to my son. I drove, and I don't like driving the highway alone, but Joyce worked, so I was going alone. Got there with no problems. And my son and I went over, met the real estate agent. We went through the house, and I won't bore you with all the details, but I didn't see any red flags. I saw a couple of things that make a note of this, keep an eye on this, bring it up to the sellers, blah, blah, blah. Do, just looking at some things. And, but he's looking at me like, yeah. And I said, son, if you want my blessing, you've got my blessing. It's not a house I would buy for me, but if you like it, there's nothing that says don't buy it. Okay, there's little things that will need fixed, but they're little things. There's nothing that says, oh my God, there's a major leakage here. There's major hidden damage here. And so to make that story over with, I came back home, and he, that evening, he talked it over with his wife, and they put in a bid, which got accepted. So there's some conditions on the bid. They still have to have a professional inspector come in the house and make sure it's good. And, all the paperwork has to begin. So it's not settled. It's not remotely settled. But they put in a bid, and the owners accepted their bid. So it's not like he's got a house for sure, but they're in the process of they could be buying this house. So good for my son. Hey, Randall Ellison, how are you? I'm free. Captain Peacock, are you free? I'm free. But anyhow, while I was down in southern Columbus, I said, well, there's Robbie's Hobbies, which is a Märklin store. They're listed as an official Märklin dealer, but they really don't have a lot. And I decided to stop off last second, just so I'm leaving my son. I said, I'm here in Columbus, I'll go over. And I actually tried to contact Eric from A&C N-Scale Railroad and Life Journey. Eric, if you're here, hi. Hey, Jeff Redmond, how are you? And I went to, I was trying to see if he could, hey, if he was free, he could meet, but I couldn't get a hold of him. So anyhow, because he lives in Columbus. So I went up there, and their Märklin selection is just getting smaller and smaller. But I saw several things I liked, but I saw this. Now, these are 3 little self-unloading, side opening wagons. And I'll show you one in a second here before I run them, because these are on the layout, except for the one I've got here. I saw this. These are special because my shop doesn't sell them because they're MHI, Märklin Handlers Initiative. In other words, you have to be a member of the Märklin Dealers Group to sell these, and Model Bond Shop Lipa doesn't sell these. And when these were released last year or the year before now, I wasn't interested in buying them. But then I bought the locomotive these go with, and then I thought, well, it might be cool to have these. Well, these guys had these, and they had a couple other things I really wanted. And then I looked at the price, and the price was, ooh, that's full retail, American retail price, which is very expensive. If Lipo had sold these, I could have gotten these for, about $60 less than I paid. But as it is, I said, I'm going to do it. And I popped the money for these. And they are very cool. And I've got one here. Now, first of all, they actually come with a weighted bar. They do come with a weighted bar, and then you can put or buy your stuff to fill it. But what I think is really cool, for some stupid reason, the weighted bar matches the color of the car, of the hopper, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's technically a hopper. But then it's got double lifts, so it lifts up both sides, double lifts. The doors open on both sides. So it's the first freight car I've had that's got all these cool little features and functions to it. So I thought that was really just cool. And it goes with that one I bought. So these are really sharp. And I'll decide whether I'm going to fill them with anything or not. But they got a nice hefty weight. I got to put this back on the table, so bear with me. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody join together. Are you going to join together or not? There you go. Now did I knock you off track? I definitely knocked you off track again. Oh, you are tricky. I'm going to have to change your coupler when I get a chance. Okay, so anyhow, that was the week that was. And then Fridays I have live stream duties and have to get ready for live stream. So anyhow, I've been babbling for 20 minutes here and nothing's running. So, hey, hello, model train shed. You're making it, you're looking at going home. Hey, Monsville is here. Hello, Monsville. Hey, Mon. So now let's look at what I'm running today. And I struggled all week with what should I run today. And then I finally said, since I'm celebrating my 200th live stream, I went back and what did I run in my very first live stream? Well, I only ran 4 or 5 trains in my first live stream. Even though I had all these lanes set up, I didn't run all the lanes. I think I might have still been working on finishing one of the lanes or something. I don't know why I didn't run all 6 lanes. But, so I ran the IC, not ICE, the IC2 double-decker that you see right here. So I ran him. I ran a Czech Railjet. Oh, I got him going backwards. I ran a Czech Railjet, except the Czech Railjet I actually ran is now in the United Kingdom in the possession of one model railway shed Dino. I ran my ICE3 that is sitting here right now. And I ran, whoops, you're going the wrong way. And I ran my Metronome. And lastly, in the back, I ran that little, but he actually ran a main route, that little 648, that Lint class Regio bond. So my decision was, what do I run to complete the show today, since I only ran 5 trains in that first live stream. So I decided, I just got these cars in, I'd go ahead and show these cars off, and I'd run that big HF Viba locomotive, and it's pulling a special group of cars today, in the mood to celebrate. And if Mark Donegal Dad watches later in, this is an honor to him, because these are all the beer cars. They had not run on my layout. So not only is this big class 320 locomotive pulling the 3 new cars I got, but it's also pulling all the beer cars I got for Christmas from Mark at Donegal Dad Railway. So I will get this guy in motion. And then I will catch back up with chat. But we're running all these beer wagons he gave me. Well, he didn't give me. He sold them to Joyce, and Joyce gave them to me for Christmas. So I think that's everybody in motion and good to go. The Kestrel lookalike. Clonked, what did I, oh, at Middleport Junction. Gotcha, thank you. So that's what I'm running today. So technically it's only 4 of the trains I ran back then. The 5th is a surrogate, a substitute. They didn't run on these lanes either. The Railjet ran on one of the short lanes, because I only had 4 cars at the time, the local and 4 cars at the time. And the little class 648 that's running circles in the background, that just came into view there, he actually ran on one of the main lines going around. But these are so that was what I decided to be the theme. These are the 5 trains, well, the original 5 trains I ran on my first live stream. So, but the thing I want to say about the live streams is, yeah, I start the live streams and I do them, and I don't want to offend anybody. I do not want this to be taken offending to anybody else who live streams. Because I don't put any effort into live stream. The biggest work for me is deciding what trains to run. But I don't see, like when somebody puts on a live stream where they're showing, where they're going to be building live, they've got to worry about camera angles and they got to worry about the tools and make sure people can hear them. They put a lot of work into it. I don't put any real work into this live stream. Changing my trains in and out is the only work. Now, it does take me a little bit of time, but it's not that much time. Usually Kyan comes down and decides he wants to run trains. I say, okay, Kyan, what trains do you want to run? And we change the trains out. The problem is every time Kyan comes over now, he wants to change trains. And I always tell him, nope, once a week we change trains. Hey, Sir Clive, how are you? Great to have you here. Other people have live streams where, they bring everybody up and they all talk and they all work together. And those are awesome. But my format has always been, I'm just running my trains and I'm up here babbling and I'll read the line. And the one time, because I had those failures 3 weeks ago, I had a bunch of people on camera and it was really weird. I was uncomfortable because it was my live stream and I have all these people on and talking. And what happens is when you start talking to the people on screen, you forget to talk to the people in the chat. This way you're all in the chat, so I just ignore you all. So it's egalitarian that way. Yes, I saw your Vectron, your Dutch Vectron, Ian, and it is gorgeous. It makes me want to get a Dutch train, but I'll have to make it to the Netherlands before I could get one. No, none of my neighbors have been down to see. In fact, none of my family outside my kids have ever been down. Joyce's siblings, when they come over, have never come down here to see her one sister and her husband, Scott, my brother-in-law, Scott, they've come down here and seen the layout. But other than that, it's a very limited number of people who have seen my layout. I've invited neighbors. I've invited colleagues. Why don't you come over to the house and you can see my layout? Oh, okay, someday. We'll have to work out a date. And then the date never gets worked out. Hey, Arthur is here from O-Gauge. Great. Indeed, and do I see Mark, Model Railway Fantasia's here. Man, it's been cool to see your videos. Your zombie train has been one of the many highlights of my week. I have enjoyed that. You have been putting smiles on my face, and along with, obviously, Alan put out a new video today. Alan at Dragon Junction. He put out a layout. Or he put out a new video for his layout. So I'm going to go to the multi-screen for a second. Then I'm going to go to the... But here we'll get everything moving. But to get back to what I was trying to say is it doesn't cost me anything, and it gives me everything to do a live stream. To be able to come on here and have 30 to 50 people every Friday come on, and over 300 people usually watch it total. And I went back and saw, and Leslie Gilpin here, and Tim J.D. Dowd here, and if I forget others, I apologize. They were in my first live stream. They were at my first. They've been here since day one. And so I really feel sorry for them. No steamers today. I'll probably run some steamers next week because I've got a couple of things I want to do. I was going to run a steamer today, and then I decided to... I had those new cars, and I decided the theme was going to be the trains I ran last time. And, when I started the live streaming, I didn't have any steamers. Now I've got a lot. Oh, and there's Eric right there. And sorry about this, people. I forgot again. And on the floor, we've got the first 2 British trains I own. The first 2 UK trains I own. So let's go to floor cam real fast. I'm running the Beatles EuroStar, which is the very first UK train I bought, and it was all by itself forever until I went to the UK in 2022, and Joyce and I found a shop and I bought a Mallard because I've always loved the Mallard. I just thought it was cool looking. I just like streamlined trains. It was cool looking, and I planned on buying a Mallard before I went to the UK. I was always hoping somebody would make a 3-rail Mallard, or I could find a 3-rail Mallard that would work on my layout. But so there it is. All right, John Benicki, take care. We'll see you later. Hi, Steve Childers. How are you? And again, Eric is here. Eric, I tried to get in touch with you. I was in Columbus Wednesday, but I didn't know I was going to stop at Robbie's Hobbies until I left my son, so it was like a short notice message. So I don't know if you ever got it or not. But anyhow, the reason I've been able to go 200 live streams and never miss one, because I don't want to miss one, because you guys are awesome. So, in honor of all you people, especially those of you that have been with me since the beginning, suppose I could have bought my brandy down for a special occasion. It is way early in the day, and this is the earliest I have ever had a beer in my life. I really should have a German beer, but I don't have a German beer here. All I have is Italian beer. So, to all you knights of the rhomboid table, thank you for keeping this channel going, keeping me going. You guys are awesome. I can't tell you how much I love sitting here in front of you all. Jean Ricard, who had to work today, my buddy. Cheers to you. Cheers to all of you. You guys are amazing. I can't thank you enough for those of you that keep coming back. Those of you that have been with me all these years. And so on and so on. Cheers. Back to the trains. Oh, shucks. Hi, Graham. That's great. I would love a Kronbacher. I even have... No, I've got a Kulmbacher car, but not a Kronbacher. Or do I have a Kronbacher too? I've got 2 Weinstefaners and 2 Stuttgarter Hofbräu. No, I don't have a Kronbacher here. I can go to the one liquor store here in town, and they have Kronbacher. But you know, if I do one live stream a week, it would be 4 years before, almost 4 years before I hit 400. That's a scary thought. I don't even want to think about that right now, because I don't like looking even that far ahead now. I'm already trying to plan out our 2025 trip to Germany. And it's scary to think that way. Any whiskey? I don't drink liquor. The only liquor I drink is brandy, and even then, it's really only one type of brandy from one city in Germany, and I've got 3 bottles of it upstairs that are aging nicely. The last message you have was from January 8th. Uh-oh, so I must have screwed up. Because, yeah, I was in Columbus, and it was about 3 o'clock, 3:30, and I was in the parking lot from my son's apartment, complex. And before I drive off, because I don't look at my phone while I'm driving, so I'll have to double check. Maybe I sent it in and I did something wrong. But anyhow, I was thinking of you, but I didn't know how much time I'd be tied up, so I didn't communicate with you before I went down, because literally he called me Thursday night. Dad, could you come down? And I was so, the 3-hour drive to south of Columbus alone did not sound good. Plus, I needed to be there early, so I left Toledo about 7:30 in the morning. And then after talking to him, I was like, well, I'm in Columbus. Seems a shame to drive all the way down here and not go to Robbie's Hobbies. But there it is. Well, hello, Sir Jake from Haunted Halloween Railway. How are you? Wow, we've got over 40 people here. I've got to do something. You're just having a coffee there? Is that how I'm translating that? Because I will sometimes cheat and use Google Translate, Ian. And again, I could usually read a little Dutch, but not greatly. I'm doing fine. It's Friday. It's been a long week. And then when I got home, it took me forever to get home because I got caught in the rush hour traffic in Columbus. And it's just backed up. 4 lanes of bumper-to-bumper traffic moving at half the speed of the speed limit. And I finally used my Google map in my phone because we were stopped at a light. And I just reroute, and I did get home a lot faster than I normally would have, but it still took me over 3 hours to get home. But I took all the country highways between Columbus and Toledo. Actually, Columbus and Findlay, Ohio. And in Findlay, I finally got on I-75, which is the main superhighway in Ohio, and was able to go home relatively quickly. Fortunately, by around that time, Joyce called me. So I'm talking to Joyce for the last 2 hours of my car ride home. Just talking to her as if she were next to me. But that was such a blessing because it just makes the time go by easier when you're talking to somebody. Hey, Sir Tom is here. How are you? But it's amazing that so many people either end their Fridays or kick off their Fridays and their weekends here. It's something else, man. It's become an institution, and so many people come and visit once or twice and never come back. Some people like to come, but their jobs now have them. I mean, there's people like Colin Wykes and David Cook that will still keep in touch here and there, but they were regulars for years, and then jobs and life happen, and they just can't be here on Fridays. But it's just the people that are regulars and still here, I'm just blown away. Yeah, the big thing, CMD, is of course that for years Nuremberg was only open to people in the trade and shop owners and their admitted colleagues or friends and family. But last year or 2 years ago, the Nürnberger Spielwarenmesse opened itself up to the public. Now the public can buy tickets and go. They still limit how many people can go, but now it is a public show. I would love to go to it as well. I might put that as a bucket list event. But just to be honest, I would like to go to model train shows both in the UK and Germany, because I keep seeing them, like Rick and Pauline from Well Chuffed Railways. Every week he's gone to another trade show and has a video from it. Richard Brown at Trains in the Attic, he goes to train shows a lot. And I'm just absolutely jealous. The stuff people are selling on the counters, I just want to look at it, check it out. The train stuff and the toys. And it just blows me away. Because my toy collector side reawakens and wants to mess with stuff and see things. But I see things. I saw some cars today that I think they were 10 pounds each. So that's about $13. I would have bought 3 of them or 4 of them for $50. I thought they were really cool cars. All right, let's go to some of the bigger cams so people can actually see kind of what we're doing here. We'll start with the 11 lane and then branch out from there. Big Model Railway Show in Belgium, April 20th, 21st. That's too true, Randall. Very true. Hey, there's Tom's Märklin. I understand. Again, when I talk to so many people, it's hard for me to complain about things that are getting me down because most people look at me and they're like, what have you got to complain about? I am retired, and I'm retired at a relatively young age. I retired at 58. And so I have all this free time now. And the problem is I spend less time working on things I thought I'd spend more time working on with retiring, and I'm spending more time on things that I didn't like I've been catching up on video games. That's one of the things that's kept me away. I've been catching up on some old computer games that I haven't played in years or have been released on Steam, so they now work on Windows 11 when the last time I could play them was Windows 98. So, like, oh God, I love this game. And, 3 weeks later, oh, I love that game. I think I'll play the game. Well, hello, Lee. How are you? And you're still working an 18-hour day. See? Yeah. And that's... You got made redundant. That sucks. When you're unemployed and don't want to be unemployed, that's the worst. But, that was the one nicety of the job I had was, originally was if you put 30 years in, you had a decent retirement. Well, then they changed it and made it 35 years. And then I went 36. Which Andy is leaving us. Oh, okay. You got to go. All right. Good night and take care. Thanks for popping in, Andy. Always a pleasure to see you. I always love getting those emails from you. Andy sent me a picture. Was it Andy? Yeah, I think it was Andy81E here. I think it was. Sent me a picture from his where he's at in Oxford, England, Oxford, United Kingdom. And he's sitting in a dark room watching our latest song parody. You still need to work for another 8 years. So, I mean, yeah, you have that, you lucky son of a... Well, hi, Kieran. Nice to have you here. And believe me, I'm the type of person, I do feel guilty about it. But, I put in the work and I qualified. It's not like I shirked and had an easy job. And when I was young, I worked multiple jobs because my primary job, even though it would pay off in the end, did not pay money at the beginning. It was very low paying. Some people are still stuck with low paying jobs. I never had those free falls, and my hobbies were very cheap when I was younger. And for the most part, thank goodness that my hobbies coincided with my children. I was into toys, and so just buy my children toys and play with them. Where are you? I wanted to catch that railjet going through. Beep, 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 beep. I must speed him up just a bit. I must speed you up just a bit. I don't think you need sped up, but I'll speed you up just a little. Yep, Tim, 43 years delivering the mail. There's that nice long ICE3. And did I see Adam Flamo Chairman's here? Thank you for coming in. I'm Peachy Keen and Ducky Fine, Kieran. My cap interferes with my glasses. Now I can't see my beer. You don't need to see it. You just need to taste it. Ah, there you all are. Well, hello, Dave. Welcome in, Scott Rails. Scott Rails, who has an amazing channel. I guess he's been just a few months into the hobby and has already discovered what anybody in the hobby for a year or two discovers. He's going to rebuild his layout. This is version 3.0, and I still haven't really built it. I just laid the track and threw some buildings on it, but no real scenery done other than the Dumb Horse Station. But I used to always make quick and throwaway scenery for my tabletop wargaming and diorama hobby when I was young. Building permanent stuff is a little different to me. But a lot of the stuff, a lot of the main scenery, the trees and stuff, that's all from my wargaming hobby days. Some of the hills, the real El Cheapo gaming hills, plus a couple of the styrofoam ones I built myself. Hey, there's Mark at Don't Go Dad. We were just talking about you. Yours must have been burning. Lurking in the background. I'm running your beer cars finally. After Christmas and all the hustle and bustle with Christmas, I put them all away in a drawer and then didn't think about them until Kyan opened the drawer and said, Opal, open. Okay, and he wanted all the cars. He wanted to play with the cars like he does with some of my old beer wagons and stuff here. He wanted to play with them. I'm like, no, those are the ones Mark gave me. And I thought, okay, hey, well, let's get them out and run them today. Kiwi Dave's got to go. All right, take care. Thank you for popping in as always being there. Did I see Raymond Legs has come in? Hello, Sir Raymond. Welcome in. I don't know about you guys, and I say it all the time, but I do like this view for some reason. I guess it's because you do get trains passing right in front of you. You can see trains parked in the distance. You can see some of my trains parked up on the wall. And then you can see the trains moving at different levels and angles. So, yeah, I always like this view. It's like watching a marshalling yard. Okay. I've got red on. Well, you know, the colors, the three primary colors of my channel are red, white, and black. And of course, Liverpool's colors are red and white. Deutsche Bahn colors are red and white, which influenced the color choices of my channel. I'm an Ohio State Buckeyes fan, so we're red, well, scarlet and gray. Yep, it's a red shirt, so I may not make it through this live stream. And then I kind of like this camera too, except it does have trouble focusing when too many cars at too many distances go by. You did a coach tour of Europe. Now see, I would love that. Oh, Stoke City is, that's true. Stoke City is red and white as well. I mean, technically Arsenal, well, is red and whatever. My daughter is an Arsenal fan. Yeah, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears are also red, white, and black if you're a goth. Nope, I'm not a goth. Although I did like a little bit of some of the goth rock music of the early 80s. That's true. PSV Wood is, they're red in the Dutch League. So, yeah, red and white are going to be popular colors. Manchester United. Blech. I will say, though, I like Manchester United more than I like Man City. My one daughter is an Arsenal and Chelsea fan. The other daughter is a Man United fan. My son is a Newcastle fan. Notice none of them became Liverpool fans. None of them became Liverpool fans because whenever we'd play football on the video games, I was always Liverpool, so they had to be somebody else. You cleaned the Manchester City team coach for 12 years. Why? I don't know if it's grown. I mean, it's been the same size for 5 years. And it's had this track layout for at least 4. But I've packed in some more buildings and things over time. The biggest thing is I'll go to the big view here. Where is it? Village View. See, up until a couple weeks ago, those buildings extended much closer to the train station. Now they're all shoved up here. They're all shoved up closer to me so that I could work on the Fowler car system. But what's really nice is as you look at that, you can't really see the embedded track very well. You can if you look closely. But even on the big screen here, it doesn't show up. So I've got that whole area asphalt gray, and then I got to add the tape. The road tape, because I just think that's the best solution rather than try to skim coat over it another thin layer and hope it all smooths out. Well, I can expect Newport to be your team. I mean, that's your city, man. Oh, and Man City. Oh, okay, now you broke my heart, Tim. Hey, Sir Andy of Dobson is here. Hello, Andy Dobson. Great to have you here. Thank you for coming in again. Well, the thing is, I have stopped. I've stopped for 2 years. I'm just going back at it. But the thing is, now I'm mixing a little bit of the Wiesmann concepts, and I'm trying the Fowler because when you've spent as much money as I have, both to start the Fowler car system and then repair the Fowler car system, I don't like the idea of just walking away and having wasted that money. At least I want to put the effort in and get something out of it. But I've only been on the phone to the Fowler company once. It was about a 20-30 minute argument in German, trying to explain how I was laying out their track and actually emailing them pictures while I'm talking to them. And then they would go, "Oh, well, there's your problem." When you're trying to do the bus turnout, you really shouldn't have it right off a curve. I said, then why do you have the sensor marks there right off a curve? And it was working until I tried to plug it all into your stupid traffic control module. But, yeah, I think I might make the third video. I thought I might make the third video and talk about how I'd start, you know, the preliminary steps. Because even with this setup there, I'm already on version 2.5 or 3.1. All depends on how you want to do the nomenclature for it. The 66 is not going to be working. All right, good night. Hi, thanks for popping in and saying hello for a few minutes. Or for an hour, or however long it's been. Much appreciated. That's why, again, I find doing this live stream so amazing, is because I'm not really at a good time for anybody. It's later at night for continental Europe. It's late in the evening for the UK. And on the East Coast, it's still the traditional work hour time. And on the West Coast, it's lunchtime. Well, Raymond, if you actually watch my videos, I don't blame the module. I blame me. I take all the blame. I don't blame Fowler. I don't blame the module. I blame me. I had it all. Again, if you watch video number 2, you'll actually see the whole thing working. You'll see the whole thing working. Or if you go to Model Train Outsider Season 1, Episode 40, you would see the whole thing working with the van, with my little white van going past the turnout and the bus turning on the turnout, and then the bus going and parking into the station. You would see all that. But unfortunately, I wanted to make it more digitally animated and controlled, and that's when I screwed up. And the frustration is, when I finally gave up on the module after a few months and decided I'm just going to rewire it the way I had it and working, I could never get it to work right again. Either the motors were burning out, the read sensors weren't reading, and I would buy new read sensors, and then I'd check the motors, and I would get something to work and something else not to work, but I could just never get anything to work in conjunction, in unity again. And so I gave up. And then about a year later, I tried a couple of things, didn't work. Year and a half later, and then last year I started working on it again, and then things happened where I wound up, Joyce decided it was time to remodel our bedroom, and I started remodeling our bedroom right before I went to Germany instead of working on the Fowler car system. And then when I came back, I had to finish the bedroom, and then, well, we had the driveway, and then we had windows being installed. So there was just some major project after another, and I really need to have my schedule cleared and be able to focus exactly on the Fowler car to work on it. I have to be in the right mindset, which is very difficult. And then I have to have a schedule cleared where I can spend 10 hours on Monday and 10 hours on Wednesday working on this. If there's anything that's going to be in the way, it's completely in the way. It's not like, well, I'll only get to work 5 hours. I have to be able to dedicate as much time as I think I might need to do it. But I shall be, hopefully this weekend, I should be wiring, I shall be wiring the motors up to the mini modules. I've got 3 of these. Actually, I need 4. But I only have 3. Because by the time I got the 3rd, I decided to try this instead of buying 4 different mini modules. But technically, I could use this the same way I use a mini module. So I might just try this on one of the motors. And just do this, use this as one of these. But anyhow, does anybody want a bunch of Fowler track? I'll go to the main camera here for a second. Anybody want a bunch of Fowler track? I've got 2 T sections or 1 4-way intersection. I've got 2 unused bus stops. I got, that's more of the T section. I got all kinds of straights here. There's probably 30-some straights here. I've got the extra long straights here. 4 of those. And then I've got probably 20 of the smaller radius and 20 of the wider radius curves. I don't need any of this. So if anybody, Peter Jackson's got to take off. Good night, Peter. Yeah, that's true. I remember that, Raymond. I bought one of those, fixed its little motor, its transformer, and then sold it. But yeah, it was a slot car. Okay, let's go back to trains. Oh, that camera's tilted again. I don't know why the cord pulls that camera down. Maybe when Joyce gets here, I'll go over and tilt it. Because right now I feel like I'm watching an episode of Batman. You guys remember how that old Batman TV show of the 60s used to film so many things kind of slanted to give it that little funky thing? That's how this feels. But you know, from this angle, you could see where the wire is embedded in the track. Or is embedded in the styrofoam. You can see the outline of the wire going around the bus terminal. But actually, you know, to toot my own horn, or however you want to phrase it, video 2, for those of you who didn't watch Fowler Car Video 2, like I said, I have sections in there where I'm talking, but I'm showing how I made the first Fowler Car system, and how a little bit on how I built the station, or the bus station, the bus center. But I do show it working, the various stages of building it, and how it was very challenging because I had to custom make pieces using the road track system since I was using the Fowler road to build it. I mean, had Wiesmann or Fowler come out with this magnetic tape 4 years ago, I might have gone with that right away and saved myself a lot of money and hassle. But if anybody's interested and wants a crap load of Fowler car track, let me know. It's yours. Pay for shipping and it's free. Yes, exactly. Biff, pow, thud. Zowie. There was always a Zowie in there too. Hey, Andy March West Junction is here. Hello, Sir Andrew of March West Junction. Oh, Battlefield Earth. You know, I never saw that movie. I kept hearing how bad it was. I never watched it. I always had a curiosity, but even people I trust with their movie reviews, friends and family, they're like, oh my God, it was awful. Anthony, it was awful. Don't waste your time. Like any bad movie, it's got its cult following. There you go. There's a busy running. And, of course, because there's so many trains moving in different directions, I want to replace that camera. I don't know why. That's a good camera, but it really does not like focusing when all that stuff's going through there. You like a medley of wok and wool. Sounds like you're cooking Asian food tonight. But yeah, Mark, I was mentioning earlier, again, for the third time here, these are all the beer cars that you sold to Joyce. Batman was just too campy for me, even as a kid. I only watched season 3 because of Batgirl. I was a comic book nerd as a kid, although I preferred the Marvel comics because the Marvel comics hadn't quite sold out to the Comic Code Authority the way Batman did. Because, you know, the old Batman comics into the 1950s were very dark and gritty. And then, lo and behold, the Comic Code Authority hits, and so they tamed them down a bit, but they were still decent. But they changed when the Batman cartoon became, or when the Batman TV show became popular, and Batmania hit in the mid-late 60s, they changed the comic, and it just was as bad as the TV show. And the sad thing is, many people, their only experience with Batman was the TV show. So when the 1989 movie came out and tried to go back to its original darker roots, people were like, this isn't the Batman, this is wrong. And people had to go read the original 1939 comic books, the 1940s comic books, into the 50s. Batman was a detective, and the Joker was a psychotic killer, not a goofy robber making bad jokes. Yeah, I mean, and we've had this discussion in previous live streams a few times, I think, over the years. But that's the thing with Wonder Woman. I watched every episode of Wonder Woman, cringing most of the way through it because the acting was so bad. But Linda Carter in the Wonder Woman outfit, oh yeah. It was worth the cringing. And I have all the Wonder Woman episodes on DVD and on Amazon Prime. Because every now and then I'll go back and watch them. But we all know why, as a heterosexual man, why I'm watching them. Oh, did we just get a commercial? Julie Newmar, and wow, does Julie Newmar... If you have never read Julie Newmar's story, go back and read it. She is wilder and crazier than Catwoman character, but she's also a very strong and amazing woman who gave up a lot of her career to take care of her son that was born with disabilities. She was a no-nonsense. She didn't play some of the Hollywood games, although she played her own games. Well, hello, Shredder Stay. Or Shredder Sweet, if that's what that abbreviates. Fonzo's a superhero. I liked Happy Days until it just became way too formulaic. Before it became all about Fonz and Richie became more and more in the background. MASH was a show I always liked until its last 2-3 years, and then it just got super stale. But they managed to keep it fresh. The show lasted 11 years, and the war only lasted 3. But my favorite shows back then were like WKRP in Cincinnati. And again, I don't know if that show would have ever made it overseas. Things like Happy Days and that made it over, but I don't know if things like WKRP in Cincinnati made it over. Heck, in the 70s, I loved The Muppet Show. That was a definite watch. No Steam running tonight. My apologies. I will try to have Steam on next week's show. I am actually running the trains I ran on my very first live stream. And when I did my first live stream, I didn't even own a steamer. That's right. That's right, Adam. Technically, the war's not over. We are on a truce, even though we signed an actual treaty. But it's still the war is technically not over. We signed a truce. Well, yes, Leslie, thank you. So now I feel better. The Mallard is team. Even when I'm running the UK trains, I'm only thinking my German trains. You're right, the Mallard is steam. So yes, I am running a steam. Sorry, Leslie, I've got that continental European train bias going. I wasn't even thinking of the UK trains on the floor. Which is really bad considering I'm a huge Beatles fan and I'm running a Beatles train. It's my only... Well, it's not even my only UK steam. I do have another UK steamer, but it's a 3-rail that's not running today. Actually, Klinger served in Korea. He didn't serve in Nam. He was too old for Nam. Klinger actually served in Korea. And they actually used him for some technical stuff on the show. Because, yes, Klinger fought in Korea. He was not in the same regiment as my father, but... They were both drafted, and they were both from Toledo, drafted out of this. They were both drafted, and they both came out of Toledo, and they were at the same boot camp. I think there was a week of overlapping. But my father fought in Korea for, was it 2 years? Year and a half? Yeah. See, Yeah, Adam, because, you probably know, since I talked about it before, I live in Toledo, Ohio, and Jamie Farr is from Toledo, Ohio, although his real name is Jamal Farah. He's Lebanese. But he's from Toledo. He's got family that still lives in Toledo. He's got nieces and grandnieces and nephews that still live in Toledo or the Toledo area. He's bought all of them homes. And if he didn't buy them homes, he paid their homes that they have in Toledo off. He's been a huge supporter of Toledo, a big promoter of Toledo. He's 90 years old, 90-something years old now. He still comes back to Toledo now and then. For many years, he sponsored the one of the major women's golf tournaments here in Toledo. Oh, you watch Petticoat Junction for the locomotives. Okay. I remember watching Petticoat Junction. It was, it was all part of that, what did they call it? Because Green Acres, Petticoat Junction, and of course, the main show, Beverly Hillbillies, they were all based around that old little town back where they all came from. But all three shows were interconnected, and Beverly Hillbillies was funny. It was a well-written show. Because in America, we grew up on TV, and as a child in the 60s, there was 60s TV, and then we got a lot of 50s replays, as well as all the movies from the 30s and the 40s. In the 70s, it became replays of all the shows from the 60s and 50s, and in the 80s, it was replays of the shows from the 70s and the 60s, and then in the late 70s and early 80s, shows from the 50s became, I was too young to have watched Leave It to Beaver, but it was on nonstop in the 70s and the 80s on the various independent networks that had to fill their programming up. And the best way to do it was to buy the rights to cheap movies and shows from the 50s. But by the mid-late 70s, I got into watching all the UK shows. Our local PBS station and a couple of the independent networks here were picking up Monty Python, and then things like Are You Being Served? Benny Hill was on all the time. Benny Hill used to be on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd come home from school and watch Benny Hill. Oh yeah, Gunsmoke was a icon in our house. Hee Haw and Gunsmoke. When those shows were on, we weren't allowed to watch anything else. My mom and dad had to watch Gunsmoke and Hee Haw. Those were always Sundays. Now, we would get Thunderbirds over here, but I never got into Thunderbirds. My apologies to all my UK friends there where Thunderbirds is a religion. I never got into Thunderbirds. Oh. Flymo, I gotta tell you. There were so many shows. There were so many shows that really were about helping most teenage boys through puberty. We've already talked about a few, but I could come home as a 10, 11, 12-year-old, and Benny Hill was on the TV, and that NJ scene always had at least 2 or 3 girls in nothing but bra and panties. Garters and stockings. Bra, panty, garters, and stockings. Oh, that was enough to, that was enough that weren't watching the show. Maria the Underwater Girl with Stingray. Yeah, I know that show too. Oh, the old Western Laramie. My mom loved that. My mom loved that show. So if it would be on reruns and she could catch it, she would watch it. It was on when I was young. So I remember it being on TV originally, I think. Or maybe even then it was in reruns in the mid-60s. Irwin Allen on all his shows. Oh, Hee Haw. Oh my goodness, Hee Haw was another one. I hated the music. Well, I should say I hated the music. I hated a lot of the music. There's some good stuff on Hee Haw. And when everybody talks about great guitarists, it always goes to Eddie Van Halen and Eric Clapton, Randy Rhoads, and all these guys, you know, rock and roll guitarists. Roy Clark from Hee Haw was as good a guitarist as anybody on the planet Earth. That man could strum a guitar. He could outdo anybody. He could match. He could go toe to toe with Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, or any of your top guitarists. He just happened to play country music. But if you ever watch that man do some guitar virtuoso stuff, Roy Clark was as good a guitarist as anybody on the planet Earth. That man could have played any genre of music and been the megastar in it. Hello, Old Camp Ranch. And now declare your night at the Rhomboid table. Oh, Adam 12 was a must-watch show when we were growing up. And then there was Emergency. And Emergency is the one that you talked to Joyce about, because Joyce had a crush on Randolph Mantooth, like pretty much every straight girl in America at that time did. Oh, Joyce loved Randolph Mantooth. That's before I knew her. Well, hey, Philip Page, how are you? Well, hello, Sir Rick. But, the old school Rescue 911. Yeah, 911 came in much later for us, but obviously we all have our generations. We all have our generations. But Emergency was in the 70s, and we all loved the show. It was one of the most popular shows on American TV when it was live. But, yeah, women loved Randolph Mantooth. And the thing is, he never went anywhere after that. He kind of walked away. And yeah, you know, Dr. Kildare. And then right after Dr. Kildare, which was before my time, Leslie, was Marcus Welby, MD. That's the first big medical show I remember that my parents had to watch, was Marcus Welby. And usually I would have to go to bed right when it came on or right after it came on. Sea Hunt, 12 O'Clock High. Most of those shows I know from reruns. Sea Hunt with, no, that wasn't Lloyd Bridges and His Sons. What was the one with Lloyd Bridges and His Sons? Or was it Sea Hunt? Yeah, Unsolved Mysteries got a lot of stories, and you guys can look up, my family is in an episode. Look up Unsolved Mysteries Dodge Inheritance. If you can find that episode, you could go back where I tell that story 3 or 4 times over the years. The Dodge car family inheritance story. Because up until I was about 28, we filed paperwork every year to try to claim, everybody in my family to try to claim that money, and the state of Colorado would turn us down. Yeah, Sequest DSV. I remember Sequest. I think I was high school or college at least. Maybe later. I remember Flipper. I remember the Monkees when they were live on TV. Not just reruns. Gilligan's Island. The Munsters. But I remember those being on when I was a kid, but my memory of episodes and stuff are more from when it was on reruns. When I was in elementary school, we'd get home from school about 3:15 and 3 o'clock, 3:15, 3:30, and Gilligan's Island, the Munsters, and the Flintstones would all be on. Skippy. Yeah, but Flymo, I hope I could get away with saying this, because if you know, you know. If you know, you know. There is a whole very large subculture of why all those True Detective magazines were popular. And it had nothing to do with the stories. There's a reason all those True Detective magazines were popular and sold even more than they did. And it wasn't just the stuff inside the covers. Well, hello, Artie. Am I expecting you to be here this time next week still? Oh, now you're going. No, actually, the funny thing is, the certain characters had to be in different costumes. Gilligan never wore anything different. The skipper never wore anything different. The professor never wore anything different. Dawn Wells had variations of her shorts and blouse. Ginger had 2 or 3 different things she rotated. And then the Howls were always in something different, but even he had a basic uniform. Well, the biggest thing is that what amazing clothing, because they were on that island for at least 3 years and they never developed a tear or a stain. Oh, the banana splits. There's one from the early 70s. La 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 la. La 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 la. 18. Now, I wasn't an 80s kid. I was graduating high school, American high school. So I was 16, 17 at the start of the 80s and married before the end of the 80s. I was married in 87. But I watched all those shows. I wasn't a big Knight Rider fan. But I did love the A-Team. And I loved how the A-Team, which was an 8 o'clock TV show because it was so popular with kids too, because they changed the rules on how much death and destruction you could show. And the A-Team its last couple of years just made the silliest scenes that people made fun of the A-Team, but actually was the makers of the A-Team making fun of the rules. So, like, there's the famous scene where the helicopter crashes into the side of the mountain, and then the two guys step out of the helicopter and go, woo, got out of there just in time. Because the show had already had the amount of death the show could show before 9 p.m. or before 10 p.m., whatever the rule was. So those two guys had to survive that helicopter crash into the side of the mountain. Nachtrider. Now, the show I had a love-hate relationship with was the famous Dukes of Hazzard. I loved the show because of Daisy Duke, and it was a Dodge Charger. But this is where I will get in trouble with perhaps some of my friends here, American friends, but you could blame it on my grandfather if you want. But I hated the fact that they put a Confederate flag on a Dodge Charger. I hated that because I was brought up from the earliest age to hate the Confederate flag. So the show was funny, it was campy, it was silly, it was stupid, and I loved to see Catherine Bach in her Daisy Dukes, and I loved the Dodge Charger. And of course I rooted for Bo and Luke, but at the same time, every time I saw, the General Lee and the Confederate flag, I was like, argh. Skippy. Okay, now we're talking Australian cuisine. I told Artie I would try a kangaroo steak when I get down there. Meadow muffin. Not anyone! Anyone, you meadow muffin! But Bobby, I thought you said... No, you stupid meadow muffin! You prairie patty! Yeah, Boss Hogg was... Yeah. Well, the thing is, Randall, they had 3 of them, and they had outfitters. They had outfitters that would refit. They basically had the prefabricated Charger parts, and so if they damaged it during doing one of the stunts, because they had one that they used strictly for close-up and driving scenes, and they never used it for anything else. And then they had 2 or 3 that they used for stunts. And they had a group of Mopar guys that would refashion and refit the parts of anything that got damaged. So it was the expense. It wasn't that they had to keep getting cars. It was just the expense to keep an entire pit crew, basically, and ironmongering crew on the side. And the show's ratings were going down towards the end. So yeah, they started using models. But speaking of A-frame Chargers, that's the famous thing for the movie Bullet. And I've told this story before. The famous Steve McQueen movie Bullet. There's that epic car chase scene. Still one of the greatest car chase scenes in history. And the bad guys, the mafia guys, are in a 68 Dodge Charger. And the good guy, Steve McQueen, is in a Ford Mustang Cobra. Mustang 2 Cobra. And the truth is, they went through 6 different Mustang Cobras and 1 Charger. Because the Charger could handle everything they were asking it to do, and the Ford Mustang couldn't. And also, they had to put a restrictor in the engine of the Charger because it would catch. It kept catching up too close to the Mustang. And Steve McQueen was a GM guy, but Ford was sponsoring the movie. So Ford got the good guy car, and they made Dodge the bad guy car, but the bad guy car was better than the good guy car. Oh, you guys, yeah, and the Zephyr Zodiacs and the Ford Zodiacs you had over there. Night Car was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of it. And again, really by the time Night Rider was around, I was working. I went to school and worked evenings. And even if it was on, like Dukes of Hazzard was often on Fridays. Dukes of Hazzard, I think, was on Fridays. And so I could not stay up, but I could watch it because the rest of the week, Sunday through Thursday, I was doing homework. I was working. I got off of work at 9. I worked Monday through Friday when I was in high school. I started working when I was 11. I worked as a caddy and a newspaper delivery boy. And that's not talking the jobs I had mowing people's lawns, but where I would go to work. I worked as a caddy and I delivered newspapers starting at 11 or 12. And then when I turned 16, I got my first full-time, caddying was basically a full-time job, other than you didn't work much during the winter. But, if you went out on decent days, like if it was December, but it was a sunny day and we hadn't had snow and the temperature got up to 50, 55, I'd ride my bike up to the clubhouse because there would be a couple of guys that wanted to play golf and shocked to find a caddy there. I had nothing else to do on Saturday and a chance to make a little extra money. And I usually made good tips doing that. Because usually I'd double bag, so I'd be carrying 2 bags. So I'd get a few dollars tip from each guy. The worst is where you double bagged and neither one of them tipped you. That sucked. But so through the winter I could make a little money, but winter money got tight. So delivering papers kept a little money in my pocket, and then shoveling snow that I always would do. And you had a lot of competition for that. My dad used to get mad at me. My dad would say, "Why did you shovel all these other people's drives before you shoveled mine?" And I made the mistake of looking at my dad and said, "Because they pay me." Whap! You got a roof over your head and food on the table. You get paid. Hey, Brian Rock Rail fan, nice to have you here. Yeah, Artie, you've always got something happening here, which is there for you. Oh, you guys are going on still on that one show. Hey, Ian from Lehigh Subdivision, great to have you here. Welcome in, welcome in. Well, my dad may have had a point, but at the same time, my dad was making me pay for everything myself, so if I wanted something, you got your own money, go buy it. Okay, Dad, whatever. I'm sorry you're unemployed. Because I had that with my dad where he'd be unemployed and I had full-time jobs and I'm going to school and he'd be taking money from me. I'm 15 and I'm giving him $50 to meet the month's bills. And then he's going to yell at me because I shoveled somebody else's driveway before I shoveled our own? Bullshit. And You know, we're not talking like I was 18 or 19, and I usually tried to shovel. But yeah, if I knew people were going to pay me, I went out and got theirs done, figuring I'd get my dad's done before he got home from work. And if he wasn't working, he could go out and shovel it. Yeah, Monsville, if you haven't picked up in your time here, I do not have happy stories about my father. And nor my mother. They were not remotely decent parents. You can't even give them the slide. They did their best. Well, it did, because you either can become like your parents for good or bad, or whatever they modeled, you go against. You know, my dad being a bad dad may have a huge effect on me being a good dad. However, Joyce's father was a tough but a very good father, and their kids came out great. All 6 of their kids are very good kids. And they were both working class families. Her family might have been slightly above mine on the socioeconomic table, but we definitely are from a very similar working class background. There were many times we were low working class to poverty, but waiting on a TXS sound decoder to update. Ah, okay. The children's home. Well, Monsville, my father died in 2014, and the last time I talked to my father was 2004. My mom's still alive somewhere, and the last time I talked to her was 2004. Did I see Colin's here? Hello, Colin. How are you? Guess it depends on the decoder, doesn't it, Raymond? Yeah, Jim at Hover Motion was doing some updates on some decoders in a couple of videos a couple of weeks ago. Where is Joyce? Joyce is at work. She will be here in 20 Minuten. Joyce always makes her grand entrance sometime around 1700 hours. Every now and then she'll surprise me and come down earlier. Sometimes she'll be running late. Well, hello, my lord. Alan, how are you, sir? Welcome in. $40 minutes? No, that'd be 40 Minuten. Yeah, she really does need her own little theme song when she's come down. The problem is all her theme songs would probably get us a YouTube copyright claim. You got more stuff up around the Helix. Cool. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Colin Zengage here, again, I always hate to call out one channel because I feel guilty not calling everybody else out. So you need to check everybody's channel out here. They're all amazing people. But anyhow, Colin is building a N-scale N-gauge Helix. And he's doing some really cool exterior work on it. Instead of just having the Helix there, he's trying to give it a look and a design, which is really cool. Yes, Alan, I saw your new video. Very cool, those bridges. Now that you've released it to the rest of the world, you did give me a early preview, which was awesome. I don't know how many other people you share it with, but I do like being sort of one of the early birds. don't know that it's crazy. I mean, as a published author, and I've had articles I've written for very small magazines and stuff like that. Like I used to write letters for the Tolkien Society of America. You know, J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings geek. But if, you know, to me, it should just be if you're monetized or not. The problem is it's up to the company that owns the rights. YouTube really just to cover their own butts and to avoid being sued. YouTube says you can use what you want, but you can't use us as defense. And so all the music copyright companies embed within the music itself, they embed a silent code so that when you use it in a video, when you use it, you know, that's why you could show a video and turn off the sound and not get a whistle blown right away. But if you show the video and the sound, or just the sound, you'll get a copyright claim because it's usually embedded in the sound. And YouTube just had to stick a device on it that as soon as it's there, it automatically loads it onto your thing. So you'll get a copyright claim. Now, a copyright claim is not bad. Copyright strikes are bad. And there are groups that are notorious about just, for example, I could never do a parody. I could never do a parody of an Eagles song. Because not Glenn Fry, he's dead. Don, whatever his name is, Don Henley. Nobody's allowed to use the Eagles for anything. Nope, you cannot use it. If you don't pay for their copyright, you don't use it. They go hardcore after everybody. There's a few bands. David Bowie was a real stickler, real douche about anybody using his stuff anywhere. I'm getting more. No more Roco trains? Well, I'm running some Roco cars, but no Roco trains. That's a Piko locomotive and then Roco cars. And everything else is Märklin. Everything else is Märklin today. So the funny thing is, with all the parody songs Joyce and I have done, including like our parody of Radiohead's Karma Police, we use Radiohead's music. Now, we got a copyright claim, which means we don't make any money, but we're allowed to leave it up because we didn't use their lyrics. We used my own lyrics. But we're allowed to leave that video up. It literally is the band of Radiohead playing. We just had somebody use software that removed their voices from their music track, but it's their music track. And but it's still just a copyright claim. And a copyright claim is nothing. You can get 1,000 copyright claims in a day and nothing will happen to you. The copyright strikes. And the only copyright strike I ever got on YouTube was a stupid picture that was in a video for 2 seconds. Maybe 2.5. And apparently, the guy who took the picture 20 years ago saw his picture in my video and immediately filed a claim. He didn't even send a warning to me. He just immediately filed it. That's my photograph, and I even wrote him a letter, and he was a German photographer, and I'm addressing him in German and that, and I wrote to him, I said, look, I'm sorry, I've had this picture on my computer for 20 years, and it never had a watermark, it never had any name. I picked it up off of Flickr, one of those little picture sites, Flickr. And I was using it in my classroom as a German teacher saying, here is a Deutsche Bahn double-decker Regio, you know. And I've had it for 15, 20 years. And I just threw it in our song Deutsche Bahn Regio, which is a parody of Wichita Lineman from Glenn Campbell. And bam, the video was struck down. And it was like 2 years after we put the video up. And it was, YouTube took it down because on copyright strikes, it's an automatic takedown. And I was on probation for 30 days. Which twin decks are you referring to, Raymond? I mean, the Vario twin decks there is not running today. It's in the picture, of course, but it's not running. The trains I'm running today, everything is Märklin except for the Czech Railjet. Everything is Märklin except the Czech Railjet. Even all the cars on the freight hauler are Märklin. Märklin Bierwagen, and then the Märklin Seitenkippwagen. Oh, I mean, that's one of the things I do talk about. That's one of the things I do talk about making song parodies is people ask me, will say via email or sometimes in comments on the videos, they'll say, would you do this song? And I say, I never do songs by request. I never do a requested song because then I feel forced to do it. And the second rule is I have to like the song to begin with. I love Wichita Lineman. It's a beautiful song, but really, if you break it down, if you listen to just the lyrics and don't listen to Jimmy Webb, the man who actually wrote it, if you don't listen to Jimmy Webb's full story of the song, it's a creeper song. A guy's listening to a woman talking on the phone and talking about how madly he loves her. He's a stalker. If you take just the lyrics of the song, he's a stalker. Now, Jimmy Webb said it's actually a wife about a guy, or it's about a guy, a linesman, listening to his wife. It's his wife talking. That he misses her so much, he listens to her, you know, I don't know if I buy that explanation, because in the end, it's a creepy song. If you just take it on that, he's a phone man, and he's listening to a woman on the phone, and he's madly in love with her. But it's got beautiful lines. I want you more than I need you. Or I need you more than want you. I forget which way it goes now. Now I'm going backwards. But either way, some beautiful lines. It's a beautiful song. So when we do a parody, we have to know the song and we have to like the song. Or at least I do. Now, Joyce kind of likes the song by the Dandy Warhols we just released. But right now, she hates the song. She used to like the song until I made her sing it. Now she hates it. Yeah, there are sites, and YouTube has a whole slew of copyright. And Alan, one danger, here's the problem. Those sites that give you copyright-free music, they often will get bought out and suddenly their music's copyrighted. That happened to me on the first season of Matt Clark. We had a different theme song. If you go and watch Matt Clark season 1 now, it's got this god-awful song, but that's all YouTube had that fit. That was the only cowboy western theme song they had in their data bank that was instrumental and kind of fit what I was trying to do. The original song was copyright free, and then somebody bought the database and made all those songs copyright, and so I had to, and they denied permission to use. So I had to go into all my Matt Clark Series 1 and sub out the old song and put in this piece of crap YouTube song. So that's one of the dangers, is you get these companies that will buy them out and then turn around and make them copyrighted. In fact, I had that. Here's the funniest one. If you go back and watch the original Model Train Outsider series, I have this pretty little piano thing, which is actually Mozart's 12 variations of a French theme. 12 variations of a French theme, which you all know as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Ba Ba Black Sheep, and 20 other songs. Now, this woman played that song specifically for me. She played it, recorded it, and gave it to me. I put it on. Her publishing company copyright claimed me on it. Even though it was her song and she played it live, they copyright claimed it. And I had to get her to tell them to take the copyright claim down. And they kept fighting it and still claiming it, and I finally changed theme songs when I did Model Train Outsider Series 2. I went with a YouTube copyright-free goofy tune. But Series 1... But again, it's one thing, like, for example, the Model Train Outsider theme song that I now play, and actually I have seen other channels that do use it, which means they probably use Nero Video, because that is a tune in my Nero Video software editing, video editing thing. That's one of their tunes that they give you free. So I don't get, so that, the Model Train Outsider theme, that's at the beginning of all my videos and live streams, that's from Nero Video, Nero AG. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Now, the thing with YouTube is that if it's copyright free, YouTube, well, not if it's copyright free, YouTube will automatically add the copyright information if they have it. The current Matt Clark theme song, which now I think I like better than the original. But if you watch Matt Clark Season 2, Season 3, the current Matt Clark theme song, that is by a country Western music writer, Ross Bugden, and he lets you use it without a copyright claim as long as you source him in the video. You have to source him. And then his company will copyright claim you anyhow. And then you send a message to his company showing you that you've... It's a little bit of work, but I get to use it without having to demonetize the Matt Clark stuff. Although I don't make any money off Matt Clark. But... yeah, that's my thing. If you're not, I can understand if you're monetized, or you're using this on a video, you're monetizing. The problem is, a lot of these people say, yeah, but you're using our work to advertise yourself. You're still using our work to promote your work. That's where it gets... You know, I had a situation where I found a channel where somebody quoted one of my poems and tried to claim it as theirs. And this is 15, 16 years ago, back on an old Yahoo channel. And somebody actually, and I was mad, like, you didn't write that poem, I did. And here's my copyright, date and everything, and I've still got the handwritten copy when I first wrote it, with notations and editing thrown in. But at the same time, I was like, wait, somebody knew my work to put it out there? So I was kind of mad, but I was also kind of like, you know, because obviously my book didn't sell. That's why I'm still sitting in where I'm sitting and not having a 50-foot by 20-foot wide shed in the back of my mansion where I could run my trains and pay people to build me a super deluxe layout. So I am as a creator, I hate it. But on the flip side, I have a cartoon on my channel called Matt Clark. I stole the name Matt Clark from CBS. Matt Clark had a show in the late 50s, Tales of the Century or Stories of the Century, featuring Matt Clark, Railroad Detective. So I stole their stuff. So if they hit me with a cease and desist, I wouldn't argue it. Now, I did change the spelling of his name and his rank in series 2 and 3. He became Matt Clark with an E. And he's a railroad marshal, not a railroad detective. Stories of this. I knew you'd come up with it. All right, Eric, take care. Well, I do know the Pornhub theme, and I didn't think I was close to it, but there you go. But be that as it may, but it's a tough call because I'm on both sides of it. I'm a content creator, and I'm not talking about the crap I put on YouTube. I'm talking about somebody who's written articles, published in magazines, published a book of poetry that didn't sell, and has another book and a half done that I just stopped writing because I was writing for all the wrong reasons. I figure someday I'll die and somebody will discover my poetry and go, this was one of the greatest writers of the late 20th, early 21st century. But every now and then I really think of like throwing on my intros, one of my poems, and just have somebody read it and go, whoa, what was that poem? Like, just one I wrote. I think you should. All right, Kieran, good night. Take care. So, yes, you should be proud. Anytime you get a book going out there, you should be proud. And if it's going into a second print or it's being remaindered or whatever, you should be proud. When you look at how many people try to get a book published and fail, so even though I got a book published and I sold 600 and whatever copies worldwide, gave away another 100 and whatever, I still was ahead of most people who try to get a book published. I should have a copy of my book here every time I talk about it. Go, and you too can have a copy for just $10 American if you'd like. Or maybe when I send stuff to people, I'll just throw in a free copy. That's it, Dino. Next time I send you something, you're getting a copy of my book, too. When I come to Getz next year, all you UK guys are getting a copy of my book, just so I can get them out of my basement. Right, dear? Sure.
Straight smell down there.
Well, yeah, one of your cats dropped a bomb about 2 hours ago.
I didn't know if that was it here.
Oh, yeah, that's it here now.
Okay.
I was waiting for this one. Jean Ricard will be happy. This came too late for me to run on my layout today. He wanted me to save this for next week when he'll be here. It's a live unboxing video. Wow, we've got Joyce delivering packages. Put your drinks away for a second. I'm going to say something crude. You all just saw live on TV, Joyce had my package in her hands. And you probably did not hear her burst of disgust in the background. You gotta wait till she actually sits down before you say hi.
Okay, wow, 2. Was not there this morning.
No, it was like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Well, it was before I started streaming. Right before I went on, I was like, you son of, you really right before I stream? So there we go. Part 4. Part 4. There we go. Da 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 da. So that goes with, where did I put the, oh, the other ones are in here, I think. Somewhere in here, yes. So that is 4223 to go with 4220. 4221. 4222 and 4223. So there we go. Now I've got the whole set. This one a little yellow. This one came all the way from Germany. All the way from Germany. Took about 10 days to get here. But the shipping was actually not expensive at all. I think they charged $11 to ship it. Okay, you need a microphone here. Voila, voila, voila. You need a camera on you, so let's get that camera going. Where's the joystick cam? Where's the joystick cam?
Oh, I don't have a camera on.
There it is, the joystick cam. Do 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 do.
Alright, I'm gonna go back. Why are you doing that? So, oh, we had quite a few before.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go. These stupid glasses throw me off. Darn it. Ugh. I get that little mirror thing, and it makes things look slightly off. There, now you're all on camera.
Okay, now I'm all on camera.
Now you can say hi to everybody.
So, okay, wow, I gotta go back a ways. You guys have been chatting, which is great. Okay, so, hi Grandpa Rails, hi Tom, hi Randall. Hi Leslie.
Whoops.
Hi Anthony Middleport.
I'll get the right one. There we go. Now I got the right one.
Hey, Ian again, I think.
Hello, Ian. Yeah,
Hello, Ian.
Our friend from.
Oh yes, hello. Okay, hi Mons. Hi,
Hi,
Andy.
Mon. No, you gotta say it right. Hi, Mon.
Hi Mon.
Hi, Mon.
Okay, hi Tom. Hi Grandpa Rails. I think I did that one twice. Hi Lehigh. Hi Alan. A big hi to you. Hi Anthony Middleport. So several highs from Ian. Hi Collins.
These were the experimental ones. The
Cullen,
ones that
I guess.
they were thinking of using.
So
in
hello Joseph.
This particular thing.
Hi,
Mick.
Mick.
Influenced others.
Again, hello
Flymo,
Leslie.
Adam. You saw Flymo, or did you say hi already to
I
Flymo?
don't think I did. So hi Adam.
You zipped right past it. So Adam, yeah.
Okay.
Dino
Oh.
was Joyce. He was giving you sort of a Cayenne thing.
Oh, yeah. Dino! We'll do that. Hi, Artie. That was a little weird. I wave to you too, Ian. So, hey, Raymond. Hi, Lee.
My lord,
Okay,
Alan
sure,
is
I
here.
said my lord Alan. I think I already said
And we're
that.
lucky he's here
Hi,
today.
Andrew. Hi, March
We're
West.
lucky Alan's here today. He
Hi,
almost blew
Fun-
away.
Oh?
Yeah, they had really nasty windy storms, and
Oh
poor
my
Alan almost blew
goodness,
away.
you almost blew away. I hope you're okay.
Heck, most of Northern Wales almost blew away.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Northern Wales was going to France at that point.
So, hi, Jeff. My goodness, you got a lot of different people in today.
I had 45 at one point.
Wow. So, yeah, Colin, I'm doing fine. It was a rough week, but I'm
She had
glad
to work
it's
5 whole days.
I'm glad it's Friday. So, my goodness, the weather is kind of crazy. Yeah, Leslie says it's blowing hard where he is. So, good. All right, we're going. I'll do my days.
Gale force 4 to 5 here. Wow.
So, oh my goodness, my goodness. So, howdy y'all, says Daisy. I really hope if you haven't hit the like button that you sure do support Anthony. He's getting at 4 to 3. He could almost get up to 50 today. We love you
So-
all. Kisses. Is that good for Daisy?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't quite in Daisy's voice.
Oh, not 100%, but I'm tired. You're trying to
Yeah, we're
bring
supposed
me-
to have warm temperatures.
Yeah, actually, yes. When you get here, it's going to be fairly warm, and then it'll
All right,
get
must
cold
go.
again.
Talk soon. I take it that's a goodbye.
Okay. All right, you take care of yourself, Artie. And you're in our time zone. So is it maybe bye to Leslie?
Well, on behalf
I
of
don't
God,
know.
I'll say you're welcome, Alan.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Alan, we're glad you didn't blow away. You know we love you.
Blow away.
Oh, yeah, pretty hot, and well, you're in your middle summer.
New song for you today. And one I think you can sing.
Another one.
Yes.
All
Oh, you
right,
already know
baby.
I've got 5 backlogged. Actually, I've
I
got
know.
10 backlogged, although we did get a few out.
Yeah, we got a few out.
Well, we finally got Only a Northern Song
Yeah,
out.
I didn't think I sounded that good on it, but it's gone pretty hot.
No, I told them you
You put it
you
on
weren't
mine, I see.
happy with your... Yeah, I told them you
I
weren't
didn't-
happy with your rendition, but
No.
3 different sessions, 13 takes on
Oh, gosh,
Sunday.
yes. We really had...
By the end, she was definitely...
Yeah, husky, yeah.
So by the time she actually could sing the lyrics without flubbing them, her voice wasn't
Yeah,
there anymore.
really, why are you leaving, Artie? You're on the Eastern Standard Time.
He's got to go hang out with family.
Gotcha, you're with your family. That's fair. So
But I think,
We're
did
looking
you say you
forward
don't
to
think you'll
seeing
be
you.
on your live stream tomorrow, so I'm hosting it alone again?
we're looking
All right.
forward to seeing you on Friday. Next Friday, Artie. And I'm going to scrub down that room this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to go down to the bus station and tell people that I'm picking up this Australian
Yeah.
mail order bride.
Oh, my goodness.
She was a bearded lady in a circus.
That's fine. I saw your video that Mom and Sons put up of you getting yourself scanned with your beer. You were terribly stoic. Should have been smiling with
they
your
tell
beer,
you
Artie.
they kind of. I mean,
Oh.
you have to, it takes a few minutes, and you have to hold still.
Oh, yeah. He circled around like 12 times. Yes. They kept moving the camera on it to him. I watched the whole thing. But
What's the new
you
one?
could have smiled. I mean, we can go there and get ourselves
Oh.
too. Which Ringling brother, Anthony? It's a circus.
I wasn't going that
So,
high.
I'm
I was going
right
with
there.
Smith Brothers Circus.
Oh, Smith Brothers Circus.
That's the one we went to
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, we took the kids to the circus
a couple of times,
once.
but yeah,
Oh, we
Oh.
only took them once.
I thought it was twice.
No, we only
Okay,
took them
just
once.
the once. All right.
Yep. Yeah, AJ has a certificate for that.
I'll give you a clue or two. The new song. I think you can sing it.
Okay.
It's a guy that it was a super huge hit. The video of it has 2.2 billion views, but it's the only
Wow.
song he's known for. You like it. We play it a lot. It features him naked being painted against the backdrop.
Oh, that one. Okay. Oh.
You know that? You
yeah,
know which one
I
for
know
sure.
which one you're talking
Gotcha.
about now. Yep.
Gautier.
Yeah, Gautier.
Gautier. Okay.
Yep. I thought you might have been working on that one. He plays songs, and he plays them and plays them, and thinking, oh, crap, is this going to be another...
I get in moods for certain songs, so I'll
Is
play the
that
song
gonna
over
be
and
another
over.
one?
And then one out of every 1,000,
You
I
have a
suddenly
beer wagon.
I suddenly come up with a train joke line.
That's not his theme. Yeah, those are a lot of the ones I bought you.
What?
And Stefan?
Those are all the ones that you bought me
They're
from
all
Mark.
the ones from Mark. Okay.
Those are all the ones from Mark, who
Gotcha.
was listening in the background.
Okay, cool. Yes, thank you, Mark.
But you didn't have to stoop so long. See, there's already a parody using that song, a Star Wars parody where they're making fun of George Lucas, which is done really, really well.
Oh, I gotcha.
No pressure.
Oh. Are you going to sing the female part?
No,
'Cause it's a
I'm going to
con-
sing 2 lines.
'cause it's a contrast.
Yes, but I didn't write it that way. I actually thought of doing it that way, but I will sing. There are 2 lines I do sing, and then
Okay.
you...
Okay. I like the song. I think it's kind of high for me, but
I don't think it was too high for you.
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
I never thought you'd be a junkie because heroin was so passive.
Yeah, my voice is very flat for the whole
Hey,
thing.
that's the best compliment Tim gives me.
What's that?
Tim always says, Tim JD, he's like, you know, half the time he doesn't know the song, but I introduce him to songs, and a lot of time he actually likes the song.
Oh, okay then. Cool. You're leaving Dance to Tom Paine's Bones.
Dance to Tom Paine's Bones.
Okay.
We always talked about someday we would actually take dance classes together.
I know, I suggested it.
And all different types of dance.
Yeah. Oh, it's a ball.
Well, hello, Ewan. Welcome in, Sir Ewan.
Ewan.
Sir Ewan the Growler
Glad you
of
came.
Blackwood N.
Yeah, I watched that video. Assuming it's the same one where you were at the train show.
Yeah.
It was a good video. You did a great job there.
No. He's talking
Randall.
about he's in the latest song parody video. You know.
Yeah, you're right. He is.
Yeah, because
that's
as
right,
soon
you
as he
are.
came up after you saw me making the
Because I
video,
did
you
that.
went, "Is that Randall?"
Oh, is
I
that
said,
Randall? Okay. Well, it was quick, so I wasn't sure if it was you.
I have used.
You're going to the Glasgow
I have
show.
used
Cool.
Leslie Gilpin's videos at times in some of my train parody songs.
Yeah.
I've used who else? Ever
Yeah.
Junction at times.
If he's friends with you, it's
and many
he calls
of you,
it fair game.
Many of you
Just
here.
so you know.
I don't know why you'd be shocked, but you know.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I ain't-
because you're friends and it helps.
You know, Lee here, I did a whole song dedicated to him. I've got another one dedicated to another YouTuber, but actually I was singing that one to myself with my lyrics, and actually I got through it very well. I mean, I sound like shit, but the Legend of a Mind, Moody Blues one.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be hard.
I
To
don't,
listen
you
to a
know,
lot.
there was a part of it we always struggled with when you would do it, but all of a sudden I didn't struggle with it. I was like, oh, that worked.
Oh, well.
Along
okay.
the coast, you'll hear the most about a light they say that shines so clear.
Yeah. Mm.
So raise your glass, bring a toast, little man who sells you thrills along the pier. Timothy Leary. Timothy Leary.
Hey, you're hearing it all now.
Oh, I was singing the actual lyrics, but see, I should do that. I should mess with your head now.
Yeah, I could fall
Because I
asleep,
used to play a lot of these off of you. Now,
I don't play it now.
I'm not going to play it now.
Yeah.
I was just going to put it up here where you could read it and see. Get it in your head. Could do a live version. Now and then I think of when they first announced it. I'm thinking just how good it would look on my layout. Told myself that it was right for me. An impulse buy that cost so much money. Boy, I was dumb and it's a buy I still do regret. Cause it didn't have to be such crap. How could something like this ever pass go and become so good?
Okay. What's for Diddinins?
Well, that's what we gotta decide. What is for
Sorry, I
Din?
don't know if you want to do
What-
pizza or we're running out to get something.
We could do pizza. We could run out to get something.
Yeah, those are your choices. Because we're always tired at the end of the week. And
Yeah,
I say,
we
okay.
don't cook at home on Fridays. I
Yeah,
mean,
just
it
have
happens
it today
like
for a
once every
break.
blue moon.
Either that, or if you want at home, I've got bagel bites. You would like Dance to Tom Paine's Bones. Well, we'll have to look it up. Ah, you do check the box saying people can use bits from your video. That's kind.
Yeah, I never use the sound though.
Yeah, just the
To
images.
actually get, like I was saying earlier, that gets you away from one of the copyright issues.
Typically, we're just singing them over them.
Well, like I said, that one jerk with his picture.
Yeah, he was a jerk.
That wasn't even that great a picture. It was just he took a freaking picture of the
Very sad.
control cab of a DB Regio.
Right.
How dare you use my image?
Well, we'll do the same thing when we go to Germany next.
What's that?
Let's try to take a similar picture.
Oh, well, we did. That's why I went back and replaced it with one you took.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because usually we didn't take pictures of trains, but the last
Yeah, last
three
many
trips
years,
to Germany,
we
last
have
3 trips to
been.
Germany, we've been into trains, so we've been
Yeah.
taking pictures of trains.
96 Tears by...
Oh, 96 Tears by Question Mark and the Mysterians. That's a classic one-hit wonder song from the...
Yeah, we won't use your intro.
But the thing is, Question Mark, the lead singer, actually went on and became a lead singer of a much more successful band later on. I'm just trying to remember what the band was.
Oh, Avanti went on strike.
Avanti went on strike?
Good grief.
Damn them!
Oh, yeah, I'm tired. I'm ready for crash.
Well, I suppose the threat of government takeover, or the fact that the government is taking over, has it motivated them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does look a bit like John Kay. I'll grant you that. You're gonna cry. 96 tears. You're gonna cry. Hi, Bopa. Apparently not yet, Moma. Well, we'll fix that. All right, everybody, time to plug your ears. Time to plug your ears. Kyan! Hi, Kyan! Opa loves you! Hi, Lindy. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Lindy. Hi, Chris.
Well, Chris is still working.
He's
so
still working, yeah.
somewhere up there in the house, Chris. Hi, everybody. Love you. Up, up. Opa, up, up.
And he hasn't said MoMA yet. Hi, Bopa, not MoMA.
Look, Kai and Opa got another new car. One that I can say don't touch when you come over.
Right. We're in New Jersey.
Yes, I am.
No, it's you.
Really?
Yes, you do.
I don't know. At my age and stuff, I don't know if cute works right. You know,
Yeah, it
cute is
does.
something one of those
Yeah, it does.
teeny boppers says to you across the counter.
No, you're cute.
You know, where it's like, he's an old man. If I say he's cute, he'll remember it forever. I'm more like, I'm not cute. When I was at the age where I would have taken it as a compliment to call cute,
handsome.
nobody called me cute. Well, you did, but that was a different story. No, you called me an axe murderer, so
Well, I did.
I wasn't even cute to you.
You
But I was
were-
a cute axe murderer.
You worried me a wee bit.
What, just because the first thing I talked to you about was smishing squirrels to see how they worked?
Oh.
Oh my god, look at the lights already.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Wow.
Doing great. Daisy asked for 50.
Oh, did she?
She asked for 50.
That's not Daisy. I don't know what you're doing, but that's not Daisy.
Okay.
It's doing...
Joyce, the voice actress, is too tired.
What, you couldn't even do Lil?
She said, stop dying. Wow. Seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah, no problems. The
So
knock
what
on
that-
wood, the last 3 live streams. We had those 3 live streams where it was a pain in the
What
butt.
that? They must have just been updating it or something, you
It
know?
must have
'cause
just been
they-
updates across
we
the
keep
board.
hearing that woman saying OBS is bigger and better and greater, and like it screwed us up for a couple weeks. We're not
No,
happy.
that's not OBS that says that. That's StreamYard.
Called your... Oh, I thought it was OBS. I'm sure we've seen OBS.
No,
Called
OBS
your
doesn't
roofer at 6
advertise.
p.m. and he came at 8:30 the next morning. That was
What's
good.
that? Who
Called
said
his
what?
roofer at 6 p.m. on Wednesday and he came at 8:30 the following morning. That's
The
good.
roofer?
The roofer. That's
Okay.
a good response.
Who's talking?
Ian's talking to Flymo.
Oh, gotcha.
Not you. That one makes
Oh,
sense.
I've seen that. See, I saw you're looking at the chat on your phone too, because
Yeah.
usually when you're looking at that, it's like somebody you're texting, like AJ. Because I haven't heard from AJ since they said they put in a bid and it got accepted. So I'm waiting to see where they go now.
Yeah, they need to see the inspection.
See, I'm not,
Does that look like Thor?
I'm not, you know, I hate to be, I feel like I'm on the rope now because I told them I didn't see any red flags and they immediately bid on it. And now if something comes up, they're going to be like, you can't trust your dad.
Oh, huh. D, you're dying. Huh, is she commenting on your ability to live stream?
At least that was good. Of course, he wasn't going to be up on the roof during the storm.
Yeah. Whoop.
Your roofer would be somebody 100 miles away's roofer.
Yeah, right. Ay, ay, ay. Crazy weather. Crazy weather.
Oh, she just says that out of the blue.
She just says it, okay.
Darn kids, anyhow,
Really?
I tell you.
Well, she's a preteen, isn't she? So.
Can't shoot them, can't poison them. You gotta live with them.
Yeah. Oh, who was the teenager who got angry?
On what? Who was the teenager that got angry? Every teenager on the planet Earth. Every
I'm
day,
missing her
somewhere.
name. With the oh, come on, the Mickey Mouse ripoff.
Katie Kaboom?
Katie Kaboom. See, I got
That
him there.
wasn't a Mickey Mouse
He
ripoff.
understands me. He got there.
All right, good night, Colin. Thanks for hanging with us
Night, Colin.
this evening.
Glad you were here.
Because AJ, the inspector, better notice the things I pointed out.
Yeah, hopefully.
Especially the exterior stuff.
Yeah, they need to
There was
repair it.
nothing major red flag. There was no red
All right.
flag, and even the yellow flags were
Good night,
minimal, were minor.
Lee. Well, I don't like that you're saying that the vinyl was off and there was gas.
Yeah, it was vinyl siding,
might have even
and
been
they
they
just had a gap like that wide
Yeah, I
there.
wonder if it was pushed out. Do they just need to push them together?
No, well, they need slid together, but I was looking to see if there was anywhere.
Yeah.
No, what it was is if whoever put that vinyl siding up, if it was the original home builder or they put that vinyl up later,
Dynamite
they
kaboom.
measured it and got an inch wrong, and then said screw it and just threw it up there anyhow.
That could be.
Nobody will notice.
Nobody will notice it.
I
Right.
do.
Yeah, Dad does. Yeah, Katie Kaboom, teenager. She's fine, and then when she's not fine, they all get their crash
Yeah, that was
helmets.
part of Animaniacs, I think.
Animaniacs. That's what I was looking for.
It's time for Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Dot is cute and yakko yaks. Wacko puts with his back in the sack.
Animaniac 46. They're on pace for 50 this time.
Well, people came in to celebrate
Not as many
because you
views.
know what today is. Did somebody say Lee's leaving?
Yeah, Lee's
Oh,
leaving.
no, well, no.
Lee said Lee was leaving.
Okay, good night, Lee. Greatly. Tragically. Honorably.
Yeah, we got baloney in our sacks. Pinky and the Brain, I think, was the best.
Well, Pinky and Brain started as part of Animaniacs and then branched out on its own.
Yeah, I thought Pinky and the Brain
Oh,
was
I
really
love
good.
Pinky and the Brain. Zoink, hop, Nerf. It will take me a while, but I could probably still do Brain.
What are we doing tonight, Brain?
Gee, Brain, what are we doing tonight? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. No, I'm not there.
Yeah, you're getting
Try
closer.
to take over the world. There's more of a husk in there. Yeah,
Oh.
I haven't done it since my kids were little, so yeah. Oh, I would do so many voices for my kids and for my students. I probably regretted it in the long run because I couldn't read a story to my kids without, Dad, do the voices!
Yeah.
Oh, shucks. Okay, how did I
Oh,
do this guy's
Elizabeth's
voice?
home.
How did I do this guy's voice? Wait, no. Gee, Brian.
Pins blowing around. No slates missing.
Are you
That's
thinking
good.
what I'm thinking, Pinky? I think so, Brian. But me and Pimpy stuck long stocking. What would the children look like?
Yeah, the banana splits.
Oh, now we're going back.
You're going back
way
a little further, Grandpa.
HR, puffin stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see Animaniacs made it across the pond.
Oh,
You never
yeah.
know what does. Thanks, Flymo. Just make me feel old here. My mom loved that one. Joyce loves that one.
Oh. Well, Flymo's older than us, so.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, it's fair.
same thing we do every night. Okay. Now that's gonna bother me. I'm gonna be working on that tonight.
You love the banana splits? Yeah.
Yeah.
We watched the banana splits. I don't think I was that much of a fan, though.
I always hated Tom and Jerry.
They took the Dragon Mouse. Okay.
I hated
Danger
Tom and
Mouse,
Jerry
Danger
because
Mouse.
7 out of 10 times Jerry started the crap and Jerry would win in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, if Tom the cat starts it, that's fine. But most of the time, Jerry started it.
Nice you're
and
here,
Tom
Mick. We missed you last week.
They took the Danger Mouse. That's interesting. Your kids took the Danger Mouse. Your kids
Right.
didn't like Pinky and the Brain. Terrible.
They probably didn't understand it.
How can you not like?
I don't know.
How can you not like Pinky and the Brain?
I know.
All right, good night, Jeff
All right,
Redmond.
night,
Thank you
Jeff.
for hanging out with us this evening.
Glad
That was
you
great.
came
Yeah,
in.
Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote were great.
Oh, absolutely. They are classic.
Because Wile E. Coyote starts it and then he pays for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Benny Hill.
Yeah,
Benny
it's
Hill
fair,
starts it
right.
and he ends up getting bashed in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I hated Tom and Jerry, because Jerry would start the crap, but then Tom would still lose in the end. I just wanted a few episodes where Tom beat Jerry.
Right. He
Same
doesn't
thing like with Bugs
he
Bunny and
doesn't
everybody.
even like cats. He just doesn't. He always roots for the underdog.
I agree. The originals
Anthony.
with Fred Quimby were the best.
Yeah, Benny Hill. Yep.
But
My mom loved Benny Hill.
Wile E. Coyote, super genius. I like how that rolls off. Wile E. Coyote.
I did not understand why
Super
my mom really liked
genius.
Benny Hill.
Pardon?
My mom loved Benny Hill, and I really did not know why.
You didn't like Benny Hill.
I've never been a huge.
Your mom
Benny
was
Hill
of a
fan.
generation to like it.
I
Popeye.
guess. Oh, I watched a lot of Popeye,
I mean,
but you know, TV was
If
limited
you're
when we were
Bluto,
kids.
all right, if you're a Bluto, couldn't you come up with a better woman or man than Olive Oil? I mean, if you're Bluto, you're still better looking than Popeye. Raise your standards a little. He was always after Olive Oil. If you laid Olive Oil down, she's flatter than Kansas. Sorry, male sexist.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh.
and Olive Oil was way above Popeye's level of play. Popeye was one ugly MFer.
Yeah, but he had big
She
muscles.
made me
He had big muscles. He probably could have done better too. Anyway, what the heck are we talking about? That's crazy. Captain Pugwash and the Double Entendre. Roger the Cabin Boy.
Yep.
Oh,
Roger
I know
the
that
Cabin
one.
Boy. Oh, yeah.
You too, Monty. Okay.
A Jolly Roger. Yeah, Wimpy.
Speed Buggy.
If I could borrow
He is a little younger.
50 cents, for which I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday.
I don't think he ever paid him.
I don't think you ever got the money.
Yeah, why didn't Pluto ever figure out to eat the spinach?
Yeah, why didn't Pluto ever eat the spinach?
He would have been really big.
Of course, you all know
No doubt,
spinach.
Marcel.
Spinach was code for steroids. Think about it.
I'm Peter
Think
Pan.
about it. Popeye eats the spinach. suddenly becomes super strong and he's on steroids. It was either steroids or angel dust because he goes into rage immediately too. Well, blow me down.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, Popeye would say that. Well, blow me down. And Aloy would say, well, I think you need some spinach for that too. Oh, no, stop. The music got to the Thunderbirds. See, they brought Thunderbirds over here, and I think we were talking about before you came in, Alan. Of all my love of British stuff, UK things, many shows, I never got into Thomas the Tank Engine, and Thunderbirds was never one I really got into. And all the offshoots of it. I don't know why. I probably should go back and watch it all.
Heidi and Peter.
Maybe I'll appreciate it now. George of the Jungle. George of the Jungle.
King of the... I don't know.
What's that?
George.
Watch out for that tree!
Yeah. Good brass band.
Oh.
Thunderbirds.
Well, did they redub them for the U.S. and Canadian, or did it start with U.S. and Canadian
Ah,
voices?
Mick, you just fit right in.
After being on here, now I know why I drink.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're here and enthused to drink. My buddy Jean Ricard says he loves my live stream because it helps him go to sleep.
Right. And they're such good friends. Go figure. Boo. Ooh, 48. We need 2 more.
Who's holding out? I shouldn't say anything. Remember last time we did.
Who's yeah, I know.
Watch out for that train! George. Now, yeah, we never
Were there
got to-
Thomas the Tank Engine books?
Yeah, they started as books.
Did they?
Yes.
Does Lenny have...
He was a minister.
Does Lenny have...
No,
books?
we never... Oh, she's got them for Kyan, yeah.
That's what I meant, yeah. Does she have books
She's got
for
some
Kyan?
for Kyan, yeah. Kyan does Thomas.
Are they children books?
Yeah,
Okay.
young children's books.
Yeah, Kyan likes...
But it's a culture thing.
Kyan likes...
It's a
yeah,
culture thing.
that.
I mean, it's something that generations of UK kids get...
Oh, that...
I don't want to say it in a negative way, but they get inundated with it. They're
thought
brought up with it.
Batman the Animated Series, I thought was really good.
Oh, and Batman
I
Beyond.
don't know if I saw Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that's the one where Batman's old and he has the young kid Terry take over for him. That was really good. It only
Okay,
went
I
2
don't know.
seasons. I love
Gotcha.
Batman Beyond. I thought that was a great...
You thought
future-
knitting was the only subject to cover tonight?
Thought who what?
I don't know. My knitting's a mess. I can't get enough stitches on it. It's driving me crazy. I'm ready to go back
Yeah,
to it.
he
but I'm
was
sure he's outgrown
Reverend...
it.
Begins with an A. Somebody's probably already put the name in. All right, good night, Ewan. Thanks for
Night,
coming in.
Ewan. Glad you were here. Take care of yourself. Yeah, for some reason, my stream doesn't update itself.
Well, that's because I had it flipped. You gotta, just refresh it. But you're still getting the
I
stream and
know.
everything, right?
Yeah, I got the stream on time.
Yeah, they started as bedtime
I
stories.
wasn't gonna worry about
But
it.
Reverend
Gotcha.
Alsby, what's the Reverend's name?
Oh, that's good, Andy.
WH something H, whatever.
Not a chance, Leslie. Anthony's better at it than I am.
Aubrey, that's it. A.W. Aubrey. I knew there was a
Yeah,
W and I knew it began.
somebody in here was gonna know.
Yeah, considering more than half our audience is UK.
I know, yes. And
I'm
they
surprised we didn't get it
grew
typed
up
in
with-
80 times at one time. But Reverend Adam, and the thing is, he made the original models himself for the original show.
Look at that.
He made the models himself. Let me see. What does it say?
It's a cool mug.
It's a cool mug. To my wife, I didn't marry you so I could live with you. No, I did marry you so I could live
I
with
was
you.
going to say, I thought that was dead.
I didn't marry you so I could live with you. I married you because I cannot live without you.
There you go.
That's the flip. I could live without you. I just don't want to.
True.
I may not be your first date, but I was. Your first kiss. Was I?
Yes.
You were my second. Your first love. Yes.
Yep.
But I just want to be your last everything. I just want to be your everything. I'm sorry. Bee Gees moment. I mean, that is sweet.
It is
I've
sweet.
written better to you.
You're right, you have.
Never forget how special you are to me. I love you forever and always love your husband.
Huh.
Of course, it does say I may not be, so it's subjunctive, meaning there's a possibility. But I was your first date. I was your first gift, kiss. I was your first love. But we all know why I married you. There's a couple of good reasons.
I don't think we can say them.
Well, I can say them. Wait, did I see...
Yeah, you saw Ian was there.
Oh, Christopher did write most.
That's kind of cool, though, that his son took it up.
No, that was the nice thing. We had to learn how to kiss together.
Pretty
We had to figure it out. And you're like, that was nice, but... And then finally you do that first kiss where you both get it right, and then you're like, oh, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
Lynn, you might want to plug yours now. Mommy and Daddy are talking.
it's a little awkward at first, indeed. But, anyway.
The Mike and Joelle.
Whose pizza do you want?
Oh, wow. Who's pizza? Why don't we do Jets? We haven't done Jets in a while.
Okay. Let me go up and call it, so it's not super late.
Yeah, you could go up and call it real fast
I'll come back then.
and come back down.
Okay.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to deal with just me for a little bit. Joyce is leaving to
Order
cook dinner. No, the eldest brother is still alive unless he died here within the last few weeks. Of course, they were from the UK and then moved to Australia and then went back to the UK. I see, I'm one of those people. I like the Bee Gees before disco, and then some of their comeback stuff in the 80s and 90s I really liked. But I can't stand the disco era. And they get very upset if you called it their disco phase. Well, at least AC/DC, you know, well, I should say at least. You know, the main family, the Youngs, started in Scotland and then moved when the boys were tiny. And then they moved into a real tough neighborhood. But, you know, they were, you know, I can't think of the guy's name, but he, along with the eldest young brother, George, they shaped Australian rock and roll. They made Australian rock and roll a force in the world. They started with the Easy Beats, because I think George was in the Easy Beats. And I love the Easy Beats. There were other bands, but the Easy Beats were the first band that really came over the Atlantic and had a song that rocked the U.S. That Friday on My Mind, I still listen to Friday on My Mind. I probably listen to it at least once a week because it's on several of my favorite playlists. Monday I got Friday on my mind. Split Ends, New Zealand. I love Split Ends. Love Split Ends. Love the Finn brothers, both solo and as Split Ends. I've got all Split Ends music. Love Split Ends. 6 months in a leaky boat. Dirty Creature is probably my favorite song by Split Ends, but mostly the Neil Finn songs. You know, History Never Repeats is my other favorite. Dirty Creature and History Never Repeats are two of my very favorite Split Ends songs. Love History Never Repeats. What a bass riff. What a bass riff. I love that song. He said, one slip, you're dead. Huh. Love Split Ends. AC/DC, April Wine, was it? What was it? Oh my god, I can't think of their name. Was it the Little River Band? And then there was something with Owl. What was the Australian band with Owl in their name? Yeah, although didn't the original lead singer of the Seekers, didn't she die or had to retire? One of the big 60s bands, she finally had to retire 5-6 years ago because of throat cancer. And they still perform, but they have a new singer. But I thought, which one was it where the one passed away? I thought it was the Seekers. Yes, he did, but unfortunately the movie The Hobbit I've never watched and I will never watch it. As a Tolkien fan, I'm one of the people that hates Peter Jackson. What he did to The Hobbit is really awful, but to be honest, the first Lord of the Ring movie was interesting, and I'm like, well, he's changing a lot of things here that really he shouldn't have changed. And then by movie 2, it was like, forget it. Yes, he did. Well, that was the key, New Zealand connection. Because he had Enya do the non-classical music for the Lord of the Ring movies. Skål, Stefan! There's one of our Nord guys. Yep, Judith Dunham died 2 years ago. Yay, memory. It's not completely gone. Which is sad, though, because I love the Seekers. Beautiful singing voice. Judith had a beautiful singing voice, and it's just, that's a problem. Somebody posted, all my favorite bands are dying. I'm like, they're in their 70s and 80s. You know? The fact that Paul and Ringo are in their 80s and still giving 2-hour concerts is ridiculous. And Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend are in their mid-late 70s and still out there rocking it up. Although Roger has finally started to show signs he's losing his voice. And again, a few months ago, Joyce and I went and saw The Squeeze with Psychedelic Furs on a We Need to Raise Money for Ourselves Again tour, Good Memories tour. Richard, the lead singer, Richard Bannister, I think it is, the lead singer from Psychedelic Furs, his voice is better now than it was then. Oh my God, I was never a huge Psychedelic Furs fan. In fact, I'd probably say I wasn't a Psychedelic Furs fan. I became one after that concert a few months ago. Oh my God, his voice belting out. I've got one of his newer songs that's on repeat play. I play, if not once a day right now, ever since I heard it in the concert. It's called Wrong Train. Oh my God, I love that song, Wrong Train. Go watch it and listen to it. Wrong Train, Psychedelic Furs. It actually was released in 2020, but it was the first I heard it was in 2023. Oh my God, what a great song. Bauhaus is another one. There's a lot of Bauhaus I don't like, but I love Bauhaus. And their 2008 Go Away White album was awesome. In fact, one of my favorite all-time Bauhaus songs, Too Much 21st Century, is on that album. And that's probably my favorite all-time Bauhaus song. Great album. And then they broke up again. And then I didn't know it, but they got back together 3 years ago. And my sister-in-law went to a concert of Bauhaus. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me? Because she's going to concerts of all the 80s bands before they all pass away. And I was like, last I heard Bauhaus, they weren't talking to each other again. They got back together, broke up, got back together, broke up, and then said, we are never talking to each other again. And then, lo and behold, they got back together 3 years ago. And they've been on tour. And then they just ended the tour because Peter is sick. That's a tough one, Mick. Andy, could I see Grand Funk getting back together? Peter and Gordon are okay, but let's face it, although they have some songs on their own, they basically were Paul's hand-me-downs. Here, we don't want to record this song, Pete, do it. And the only reason he got it was because Pete was Paul's girlfriend Jane's brother. They had beautiful voices, but they couldn't sustain it once Paul stopped writing songs for them. All right, Anthony from Middleport, thanks for hanging with us. You guys are awesome, amazing. Oh, and yeah, Andy, what a brilliant line there. We could do a whole show that has nothing to do with trains and just talk about cursed rock and roll bands. Badfinger, what an amazing band. Yes, they started with a couple of Beatle hand-me-downs, and Paul and George produced their records for them. But they had their own gifts. They wrote so many beautiful songs, and they got screwed by the record companies. They got ripped off everywhere, and then two of them are dead. One, he's never been found, and the other one was potential suicide, potential murder. Oh my God, Badfinger is such a sad story because they are one of those, they were big. For the time they were there, they were big. But what they could have done had they been allowed to grow, but they got screwed so badly by everybody in the industry. And they put out 3-4 amazing albums. Oh, JD, that would have been an awesome concert. I have seen Grand Funk and I have seen Nazareth, but not together. We used to have a thing here in Toledo called the Speedway Jam, where the biggest bands, like, I mean, I would have seen, let's see, what was the one concert? We had Aerosmith, Peter Frampton, having just left Humble Pie. We had Aerosmith, Peter Frampton, and that was just two of the bands. I'm trying to think who else was there. Was it Journey? All on one bill in Toledo, Ohio. And there were like 6 or 7 bands playing that day. None of those bands at their heyday would have come to Toledo today, but back then they came to Toledo. Saw Yes at the Speedway Jam. Classic Yes. Mid-70s. Cheap Trick at the Speedway Jams. Raymond, I agree. Certain Beatle hand-me-downs are definitely better than some top bands' best work. And trust me, I don't believe every Beatles song is a winner. The Beatles had a lot of crap, but every band does. But the Beatles have a few songs that you kind of wince and go, ugh. But again, some of that's also period pieces, like listen to Ringo sing "What Goes On." I mean, that's not even their song. It's it's a copy of somebody else's song. And they had to give Ringo a song on each album. Oh yeah, and Monsville, I hate David Byrne for that. That was the case of, hey, I write the songs, I sing the songs, I don't need the rest of you. And he really has not had I mean, he can go give a concert and sell out smaller places, and he can maybe sell enough records to keep a contract, but he killed that band, and they provided more than he would give them credit for. I take Tina and Chris's side in that split. David Byrne was a douchebag. His, you know, sometimes the splits are so ugly. It's like when Roger Waters left Pink Floyd, I was on David Gilmour's side. I really was. But as the years gone by, I'm sick of David Gilmour and his wife, and I'm on Roger Waters' side on that split. Because David Gilmour just keeps provoking it. Not Roger, David, and then Roger fires back, but Roger firing back gets the press. But Dave does a lot of dirty stuff. Because after 45 years, he's still pissed at Roger over stuff. Oh, yeah, there are songs, like I said, Psychedelic Furs. I did not really care for their music in the 80s. Seeing it live in concert, now I've gone back to the repertoire going, yeah, I can dig this. I'm not ashamed of singing this. In fact, I've got a parody song of Love My Way. I have a parody song of Psychedelic Furs' Love My Way that I just got to talk Joyce into singing. I don't think it's one of my best lyrical bits, which is probably why I hesitate releasing it. But I did write one.
Oh, hi, Heath.
Well, hello, Heath. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, 641. I had to get my new my debit card.
Well, so's Roger. Roger is so self-important. And trust me, I don't like Roger in a lot of other ways. There were times I used to agree with Roger on a lot of politics, but now, some of his politics, he's just gone, like, he's a huge Putin supporter. And I know we don't talk politics in here, but Putin is a slime ball. And Roger's kind of been very pro-Putin in some things, and he's had to back off. He's actually changed his tune a bit, at least. But Roger's very self-important. But, you know, the difference is Roger always felt Pink Floyd's biggest success was all because of him and his amazing lyrics, and claims he wrote a lot of these songs. But David Gilmour's music was just as important as Roger. And you can watch the progression. Like, if you take Dark Side of the Moon, their best album, well, maybe not their best album, but their first super huge album on an international stage, there's an equal mix of beautiful music and very condensed and subtle lyrics, and it's beautiful. Wish You Were Here. Beautiful lyrics, beautiful music. By the time you get to Animals, it's almost all lyrics, because Roger has decided his lyrics are so important, you've got to get it out there, and the music is very basic. There's still some beautiful music on it. And then by the time you get to The Wall, it's all Roger Waters' lyrics and very little music, although the guitar solo on Comfortably Numb is still, in my opinion, the best guitar solo in rock and roll history. Arguably, I'm sure we could come up with some that get up there, but it's definitely up there, along with Jeff Downes' outro guitar solo in Starship Trooper from Yes, because that's a great guitar solo that doesn't get enough attention. I love Starship Trooper. That song is... I should do a train parody of that just so we could have that guitar solo.
He was an average bass player, so he had to do something.
Yeah, he was not a great bass player. I think Paul McCartney deserves to be recognized as a great bass player. Very influential bass player, and he played bass on a lot of great albums that people don't know that's him playing bass. But he was also one of the first bass players to not pluck the bass, but strum it like a guitar. In fact, people said he played bass like a guitar. Now, is he as good as John Entwistle? No, because nobody was good a bass player as John Entwistle. Thunderfingers. Oh my God, John Entwistle on a bass is... There's John Entwistle, Paul McCartney, and then everybody else. But there is a huge gap between John Entwistle and everybody else. Yeah, and I like the album Animals, but man, it is... I got to be in the right mood to really get into Animals. Because it's a heavy album.
It is.
It's a in-your-face, punch-you-in-the-nuts kind of album. Or punch-you-in-the-nether regions album. Or kick you in the nether. John Paul Jones is a very good bass player, yes. John Paul Jones, very, very, very good bass player. Definitely in the mix of one of the greats. But
Changing his levels.
John Entwistle is just up here, and then anybody else you name is going to be low. Now, who's better, Paul or John? You know, a lot of people will go because John played the heavy metal Led Zeppelin, the hard rock heavy metal Led Zeppelin, and he'll get more credit. But Paul was a virtuoso on the bass guitar. And when you talk to people in the industry, they'll tell you Paul is one of the best bass players ever. They will just say that.
Interesting, Raymond. Very talented, it sounds like.
Well, I'm terrible at every instrument. I can't play an instrument. I still got a guitar that I want. I tried to teach myself to play guitar when I was young, but it was one of those plastic string, guaranteed not to break sort of pieces of crap, except it would break. It just was a terrible, and I've never sat down. And one of the things I said I thought maybe I'd try to do when I got older and retired was maybe take classes on playing guitar. Problem is now I'm like, I'd be playing guitar like a mandolin because this hand doesn't stop shaking. I played cello. I played cello in 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, except they wouldn't let me play it left-handed. Well, actually, the first teacher didn't notice. I taught myself all the keys upside down because I'm left-handed. So I taught myself how to finger the chords upside down and play left-handed. So instead of pushing, I pulled. Instead of strumming, I slid. You know, I did it all backwards. And I fingered the chords the correct way, but holding it this way. Which, looking back, that was one hell of an amazing job by me to do that.
It was very
and I was
adaptive
first
of you.
chair out of 3 cellos in our group. And I actually was good because my sister played cello. She taught me how to play Eleanor Rigby on a cello. So I could go in and go, you know, but one day we got a new orchestra teacher in 7th grade, and he saw me playing that way, and he said, Dodge, stop playing around. Turn around and play that right. I was like, I've been playing it this way for 2.5 years. Stop clowning around. You will play that. And he tried to force me to play it right-handed, and I'm like, and I was out of orchestra within 2 days. And that was the last I played.
It's a sad story.
So,
Sad
and
story.
these fingers were never great at fingering chords. I don't have short fingers, but I don't have long, nimble fingers either. Oh, it is that time. It is that time. What's that? But, so yeah, it was, you know, because the problem is I have a horrid singing voice, and I can't play an instrument, yet I always dreamt that, well, maybe I could still latch on to a rock band and write lyrics for them, because I do think I'm a good writer.
Night, Mons.
What do you think?
Or happy day, Mons.
Happy day, Mom.
Yeah, you're a very good writer.
Thanks, dear. You really sold that to the public.
Sorry, I meant it.
That's how I wooed her heart. I wrote her love poems.
He did.
And comedy poems.
He did.
And comedy letters. All right, so anyhow, we are going to cut it short. It's already after 6 o'clock, but it is the 200th live stream. I'd have to look up what number you started appearing in, and then when you became consistent, because originally you'd just come down now and then all of a sudden it became like, come on down, would you? Come on down.
Yeah.
All right, so anyhow, again, thank you. Don't thank us. We thank you.
Right, for
You're the
sure.
reason we come in every Friday. Not that you owe us anything or we owe you, but because you make me want to be here, because you guys are such amazing people. And so many of you I've met in life, many more I talk to on phone chats and emails, and I always look forward to it. And by the way, if any of you hear me talk about, oh, I talk to Jean Ricard several times a week, or Elizabeth, and you want to just chat on the phone or video chat via Facebook or whatever, let me know. I'm open. I'm home all the time. Tuesday and Thursdays, I've got my grandson. Those are the only days I'm not really available. But anyhow, thank you for
being here.
Yeah. Because otherwise I'd just be talking to myself or Joyce, which isn't bad. It's just that if I start talking to Joyce, then, well, never mind. Well, the show would get X-rated quickly. So anyhow, on behalf of the amazing Mrs. and myself, the Model Train Outsider and the Model Train Insider, what, I don't know. You need a nickname now, the Model Train Mrs. That's it, the Model Train Mrs. But see, by calling you the Mrs., well, I don't have a name either. Anyhow, on behalf of the two of us, we're going to say Auf Wiedersehen.
Cheers.
And happy trains. Take care, everybody. We'll see you later.
Yep.